help me out instead of taking the easy way out to classify me. But what really bothers me is that I'm crying out for help in my own distorted way, but you just pass by me day after day. I act out hoping that you will recognize me. I can't hide my pain anymore because it's killing me. So you as the adult should be trained to see that how as a child can I be your enemy? I'm showing you the pain that flows inside of me without letting the words come out of me. Showing you the bruises that's on my body. Sometimes I wonder, would diapers be a better place to me? Maybe it would, and then at least they could spot what's happening to me. So to the village who's supposed to help raise me, hurry up and save me before it's too late. I need you now. I really can't wait. So that's just something that I wrote back then in dealing with the children in school in Chancellor, right? A lot of times, and Miss Miller is up here, and hopefully she can speak on it because she was the principal or vice principal. And there's a lot of times dealing with the children in school that they're crying out for help. And today, the topic today is really on that because the schools are fighting a lot. A lot of the kids are fighting. It's really out of control. I don't know if it's due to the pandemic, due to COVID, and just them, going through things. They depressed, they sad. And a lot of times, and my granddaughter talked to me when my son got killed and they was doing testing. A lot of times when the children lose somebody, they go to school and it's continued as usual. They want them to take the test and they want them to focus on the work, and they really can't. And we need to start talking to the children and listen to the children. So Miss Miller, could you speak on that in terms of how you see the children? You got to unmute. Nope, it's not unmuted. It's not, you got to hit the microphone. Okay, there you go.
I got it. Yes, I'm sorry. As you know, Ms. Lee, right now I'm retired. So in terms of speaking on what's happening during COVID, it's limited. However, I do know that when kids are not,
I can't do
I
this.
want you to speak. Who can't hear? Who said they can't hear? Okay, no, Ms. Miller, I want you to speak on, as you was a principal or vice principal, how you got to see children, how they crying out for help. So speak on when you were there.
Yeah, okay. Generally, when a child is misbehaving, angry, disrespectful, really there's a reason behind it. Children just don't come that way. They're experiencing, it could be something at home, it could be experiencing issues between parents. They could have a situation where they have no food at home, where they have no lights at home, there's no stability. So in essence, when a child is misbehaving negatively, there's always a reason behind it. A lot of times educators, since they have to deal with a large classroom setting, they don't stop to think about that and say, well, let me pull him aside and see what the issue is, because they have to deal with so many students at one time. But inevitably, I mean, across the board, if a child is acting up, there's a reason behind it. Generally, they're not disrespectful. Sexual problems or something, somebody is touching them or doing something to them, there is always a reason. Ms. Lee, you're muted.
So just for the record, y'all, I went and got a little Apple computer. I got my little screen. I got the TV right there. So I'm all over the place. I feel like I'm podcasting right now. Okay, so yeah, so that's what we're going to speak now. I don't know. Devon, would you like to speak now? No. Devon, you want me to put you on the spot? You want me to just ask you the question? Okay, you unmuted, Devon. Unmute. Hi, Devon.
Hey.
Hey, Mr. Prince.
Hey.
So this is Naya's son, and this is my grandson. And today he said he was going to speak on the trauma that he experienced. And so we talked about, trauma and, He said, so let's see. Devon, you said you wanted to speak on 2 things of trauma that caused you trauma. What is the 2 things?
My father and my uncle.
Your father and your uncle. And so what we're going to do is we're going to walk Devon through this. And so Devon, so with your father, what would be the trauma with your father? Why do you feel that you got trauma from that?
Because my father used to do pills and he wasn't here for like half my life. And it traumatized me and I was sad. And then some people used to say stuff about my father and it used to make me mad and want to fight them.
So people used to say,
You muted.
I didn't mute myself. This computer is muting me. Devon, so you said you were sad because your father did drugs. He did pills, right? And he didn't see you as much. So that brought you trauma. That's what you're saying? And it bothered you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And you said it bothers you when people talk about him?
Mm-hmm.
So what got me stuttering. What does that mean?
Looks like Naya.
You do.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. So how's your father now?
He's all right.
You seen him?
Not yet, but I've been calling and checking on him because I can't see him right now because he got COVID.
Okay. All right. And so if it was some people that you had to talk to, if it's another little kid that you had to talk to that their father is not there, what would you say to him?
That you have other family members that take care of you and he'll probably come back to you one day.
Devon, move up some because you sound muffled, so I really can't understand
I'm
what you're
on my AirPods.
Okay, so go ahead. Them AirPods cost money, so it should be clearer than that. Let me hear you.
Is it good now?
Yes, it is.
All right, so I would say you got other family members that'll take care of you and that he'll probably come back one day for you.
So did you have a talk with your dad?
No.
Okay. So maybe one day you need to have a talk with him and tell him that how the fact that he's on drugs or was on drugs is affecting you, and maybe just let him know how you feel. The second one was with Eric. Talk about that. You're muted. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
All right. So when Uncle Eric died, I was traumatized, sad, angry, everything. It was
And
like I wanted to go after the people that did it, but
it's okay, talk. We here, just say how you feel.
I know.
Say it again.
It felt like I wanted to go after the people that did it, but you used to tell me to be strong and that it'll be okay.
Okay. And so how you coping with that now?
I'm doing fine.
All right. And so okay, so and this is just to let y'all know, like, so Devon, how old are you?
10.
So he's 10, right? And so even with, and I just want to say this too. So even with COVID, right? Everybody was out during COVID. And when COVID first came out, we were saying because, people was dying in the hospital by themselves. And we were saying to them, if you get COVID, you got to do this. Or if you get sick, you're going to quarantine, you're going to be by yourself. And so recently when they were sick, Devon had it. And I just want y'all to know the effects of what we say to children, right? And so Devon had it. And when we was in the car, we was waiting for the test results. And so now he was like, okay, she got it, her daughter got it. She was like, Devon got it. So my test, they was waiting for me, but mine was negative. And he bust out crying. And I'm saying, what's the matter? He was like, I don't want COVID. And it bothered him so much that he came in the room with me 5 o'clock in the morning and woke me up. And he was like, Grandma, you all right? Now, mind you, I was negative. And I was like, yes, I'm all right. You all right? He was like, I can't sleep. And I said, why? He said, I'm worried about the COVID. And so I said to him, I said, well, Devon, you don't have any signs, right? Your mother got a cough. It's just a regular cough. And I was saying, it's okay. I said, let's pray. So I prayed for him. But looking back, it bothered me because I'm like, we don't know how these things are affecting the children, whether it's trauma, whether it's seeing my son get killed, right? Because my son got killed, we cried around him. We couldn't, well, Anaya and Greg couldn't, they couldn't really hide or master hiding their pain. And so when we cry around them, when we sad around them, the children looking at it a whole different way. So we got to be mindful of that. We got to talk to them. We got to ask them questions. Even with Devon, every day he come from school. How was your day? What did you learn? What did the teacher say? And so, and I'm saying that to the parents, that we got to be mindful and we got to ask questions, because a lot of children going through a lot and they won't tell us unless we ask. Devon, I really truly want to thank you. I know it took courage to come up here just to talk about it. I thank you for being emotional, having feelings. I thank you for that. Oh, and you did say you wanted to say something to your Uncle Greg though, right? About talking about your dad. What you say? Devon, you muted.
I forgot what I said.
You said you wanted everybody to know. He was saying, he said, Greg, he said, you know, it hurts when people talk about his dad. And I said, okay. And then I said, well, you know who you talking about? He was like, Uncle Greg. And I'm going to say it and I want him to hear me. So stop talking about his dad, Greg. Thank you, Devon. Okay. So.
Hi, Lee.
Hi, hey, Renee.
Hey.
It's Martinez. We can hear you.
Yes, Chancellor Strong.
Chancellor.
Yes. I just want to say that remember when we worked at Chancellor Annex and then we moved to Chancellor Avenue, we always adopted the procedure of, at the moment, James P. Comer, no child left behind. And that resonated with me even to this day. 15 years later, I still think about when a child walks through the door, you cannot understand what they're going through. You don't know if they were sleeping in a car, if they had domestic violence issues. All those things resonate, and you have to think about those things when you're dealing with a child, and it breaks my heart every single day. I work at central office. I sometimes want to be back at the school, but it hurts because I know that our kids are suffering. They are suffering. And if you don't understand what they are going through, and if you don't understand or at least try to adopt what Mr. Comer was saying, remove your titles. It doesn't matter who you are. Take away that you are the custodian. Take away that you are the principal. Look at the child prior to him or her walking through the door and know that they have gone through something. And once you see that, you can deal with the child. Maybe they didn't eat. Their food that they are getting is from the school when they come. And again, like I said, Lee, this breaks my heart because I see this every day. You know, I'm a 5-parent person with 11 grandchildren, Newark born and raised, South Ward living. You can't tell me that they're not suffering. I see it every day and it hurts me. But again, it uplifts me because you have this platform that shows that we do care. We do love our children. We want them to do better. We want them to be stronger. We say to them, I get you. I understand what you're going through. And I love you. And what can I do to help it and make it better? You know, I don't know what you did yesterday, but I'm here today.
Absolutely.
And from that, I will hug you. I will love on you, and I will give you everything that you need in my power to make sure that you succeed. And that's all I need to say.
Thank you, Martinez.
Thank you, Lee.
Now I want to go to, because I had Elliot from IYO, International Youth Organization, and he has one of his students on, and her name is Sandra. Sandra, would you like to speak? If you do, you can unmute yourself.
Right now, I don't really got nothing to really talk about. Like I've been through my fair share, but I would like to hear other people speak before.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. So when you're ready to share, you could just raise your hand. If you're feeling in the mood, like, oh, I want to say something about that, you could just jump in. Is there anyone else that would like to speak or say something right now?
Ms. Lee,
Yes.
my name is Janet Murphy. I'm the founder of Parents of Murdered Children Grief Support Group.
Hello, how are you?
I'm blessed, and how about yourself?
I'm great.
I worked in the school system, East Orange school system, for 37 years.
Mhm.
And as you say, as a custodian, I was a custodian. And my main job, my main function for me, it wasn't because I love cleaning, which I do, but the function for me, I had problems growing up as a child.
Mhm.
So I stayed in the school system because, as the lady said before me, the children come to school, you don't know what kind of luggage they're carrying. They can't express themselves. So all that works in the school has to be, and I found out that most of the kids, each day when the car came to school, I could look at them and tell there was something wrong with them. So I reached out and I gave them hugs and asked them what's going on. When they didn't have anything to eat, the mother wouldn't send the money to feed them. I would feed them, not anything for bragging, because I have children. Well, they're grown now, but the function that I stayed around, it was for the children, because some of them was being molested. They wouldn't tell their parents, but they would come and tell me because I was there for them. But all of this, it needs to start at home. We need to educate the parents of what's going on with their children.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that's where it starts. Right now, I have children, the children that I had before I left the school system 2 years ago. I have the children I started out with 1980, I have their grandchildren and some of their great grandchildren. They're young, but anytime I can walk around, I can always say they still want hugs.
Absolutely.
And I thank God that I got out before COVID did, because I would still be in there hugging them and have COVID every day. Because that's our job as a village. It's our job to take care of these children, regardless of what color they are.
I agree. I agree.
And most of their backgrounds, they don't know anything about church. They don't know. It's plenty of things they don't know. I get a little emotional talking about it.
Mhm.
I get emotional talking about it because the children need love. And most of these children come up, don't know love. They live in dysfunctional homes where it's drugs, or the mother got to do what she have to do to put food on the table, or they have too many uncles.
Mm.
So that was my biggest thing. So each kid came in each day. They want a hug. They got Miss Murphy. They got a hug. It got so much better, got to where the principal would call me to talk to the children, because I took the children as my children. I loved them as they were my children, even all the way up to high school with them. And I still go by to the school. Since COVID started, I can't go inside the school, but before that, I would still go inside the school just to say hi to them, maybe once a week after I retired. So
That's
anything
great.
for the children for me.
So thank you for being a part of that village. Thank you so much.
Amen.
You're
Bathim, Queen B, I see you have your hand up. You want to unmute?
Hey, hello everyone. I
Hello.
just wanted
Hey.
to say the person who just spoke, she hit on what I wanted to say about the dysfunction in the families. I just want, if there's any children on here, teenagers, even adults, just to say that the dysfunction in our families and in our lives is not our destiny, okay? Because your father or mother was on drugs and because they had to do the different little things they had to do, that's cool and all that, but it's not our destiny. We don't have to use drugs. We don't have to sell drugs. Our children don't have to do that. You know, with this platform that Elaine has, and then with the principal that was at the school, the custodian, they're helping our children not have to do that, so that they can know and understand that despite their dysfunction, their destiny doesn't have to be that way. And I want to say too, trauma is treatable.
Yes.
From this platform, from the custodian giving the hugs and talking to the children, to the principal, you know, asking a child, you know, those hard questions. Because a lot of times we see our children going through things and we don't want to ask those hard questions. But we have to, because if we're the village, we have to, because, you know, if we don't ask them that hard question that day, that might be the day that they needed that question asked. Are you okay? Did you eat? Come here, just give me a hug. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to know that I love you and I mean it. That's something that I say. That's something that I say all the time to anybody that I have love for. I love you and I mean it. So that means if you need me for anything, I'm here. I'm here. You know, and a lot of times, you know, we try to deal with our own trauma as adults, because, you know, we got to have it together so that we can help the kids. Sometimes we got to say, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put my trauma to the side, you know, because the day that Elaine was on the phone when she said she prayed for Divine, me and her was on the phone. And she said, oh, Basima, let me call you back. You know what I'm saying? And afterwards she told me, yeah, listen, whatever we was talking about, it didn't matter. Pray for your grandson, because you don't know what they're going through, you know? So that's all I wanted to say, you know, just let these children know, these teenagers, these adults, trauma is treatable, and the dysfunction in our families and in our lives is not our destiny.
Thank you, Bonds. Thank you for sharing. And also, we know that they say hurt people, right? And so we are here today because maybe we went through something younger and we didn't know how to deal with it. And so that's what we're here for. I have Ashira on here. Ashira, you want to say anything? You know, I'm not gonna, you don't have to if you don't want to. You want to wave, Ashira. Unmute and say hello, Ashira.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
That's Ashira. She's one of my mentees, so she did the What If Challenge with us too, right? And so a way that Greg, you know, we came up with this, since we do poetry, Greg was like, let's do a What If Challenge. And when you do the What If Challenge, I think we paid them $300, the winner, but my granddaughter did one, Devon did one, Ashira, her girlfriends, and then I don't even know if it was a little girl up here. I don't know if her mom up here, but she was 9, and she did one about her, you know, her father being in prison. And the reality, once we read it, is like, they are hurting. And we don't even know it. And so had we not did that, what if I would have never known my granddaughter who lost her father was going through the things that she was going through. And then she talked about painting her room red, with cutting her wrists, and you know how she said something about she was expressing to someone her pain to someone, and they said, stop being silly. And so I wouldn't have known that if Greg, and I'm gonna give Greg his credit because he said I'll take over his stuff, didn't come up with the What If Challenge, right? And so we just got to be mindful. We could talk about our pain, right? And I'm gonna say this. I, you know, get into it with my family sometimes, like my sisters up here, and we don't speak, right? And this is just food for thought. When my son died, I ain't speak to my sisters for 2 years, right? And at the end of the day, when my brother got murdered, how many years ago, Basima? It was Basima's husband, 20-something years ago, I wasn't speaking to him at the time. We had an argument. Basima had a party in Virginia. Me and my dude went to the party. And that night he got murdered, right? That's something that I hold on me forever. Now, do I still get mad at people and don't speak? Yes, because I believe that you got to teach people how to treat you. If you allow people to do certain things to you, they're going to keep doing it. And so sometimes for your peace, you got to fall back and you got to say, I can't do this right now. I got to worry about my peace. And you got to push people to the side. That don't mean you don't love them. Sometimes you got to love people from a distance. And so if we're going through things in our family, we ain't going to stop loving them. But sometimes we just got to step back and say, I gotta cherish my peace. So sometimes my peace is so good. Like I live by myself now, I don't live with my children. And the peace be so quiet sometimes that I just overthink and I should do this and I should do that. And that's been me for the longest. But we got to keep in mind that we can't hold on to the grudges. We got to forgive.
Right.
We do. We got to
right.
let go sometime and let God, or however you want to say it. We just got to do that. Crystal, you want to say something? Because I see you lit up.
Well, am I on mute? Can you hear
No,
me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, it's funny you said that because as I was sitting here listening to the Lord, and I got my Bible right here, or right on my lap, and he took me right to James 5:16. And he said, and this is what I want you to expound on. And James 5:16 says, confess your faults to one another and pray one for another that ye may be healed.
Yes.
The effectual, fervent prayer of the righteous availeth much. And it comes to where we have to accept accountability. We have to come to that maturity to accept our faults and to come to one another, and own up to your accountability and why things turned out the way it was. And, I understand about the peace that passeth all things. I will be retired from doing here. March will make 2 years. And I retired for pastoring. Now, thank you, Lord, I'm licensed and ordained. And the Lord raised up a church through healing, through praying, and through confessing our faults, being accountable. And I can remember, and I talk about you often, Elaine, in the prayer group on my Bible study, how sometimes hurt people, but if we don't come to own up to accountability or what my action was, then we won't get set free. And I thank God that, I am free now. I'm free. Even though we wasn't speaking, when we did come together, I owned up to my accountability and asked you for forgiveness, because at the end of the day, that's all we have.
Yep.
And it's so important, just owning up to your accountability. I have a daughter, 31 years old, and I'm teaching her that, we got to be accountable for our actions. We may not always get along, and we can disagree to agree, but own up to it. Just don't sweep it under the carpet, because it infests. That unforgiveness is a spirit that it's like a cancer, and it follows you until you release it. And when you release it, you be so free. So you be so free. And I thank God that I got on this platform tonight. I really am, because I needed to hear what I heard. And it's so, we was from a village that raised up a child where we had people really concerned about us, whether that was our family, neighbors. And I found today that it's no love.
Yeah.
It's no love. Everybody doing things in their own way, form, or fashion. And I thank God for your organization, you and Greg, to where, it's going to take platforms like this. It's going to take programs like that to bring healing to the community. People be like, oh, you can't trust everybody. You can't, trust everybody. But love does what love does, Elaine. And I thank God just for, being able to admit and come together. If I heard it, anybody, I got some cousins, nieces, nephews on here. If Auntie Crystal, Cousin Crystal said anything or did anything, forgive me. Because we be in our own way sometimes, and we know living life in our own way that we don't think about others, having concerns about others. And that's where it starts at, having accountability, y'all. And I'm turning it back over to you because I could go on and on and on. Right.
Thank you, Crystal. And of course,
You're
yes,
welcome.
oh, wait. You can hear me? Yes, thank you, Crystal. And of course, I forgive
You're
you.
welcome.
I love you. You're my sister.
I love you too.
Nixon, is Nixon still on? Because he wanted to say something.
Yeah, I'm still on. I'm
Hey,
still on.
Nixon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Nixon.
Yeah, I was thinking while y'all was talking, and every time somebody talks about forgiveness, it remind me of Pastor Ron, because I remember he did a series for a couple weeks on forgiveness. And during that series, people, like, we met every Wednesday for prayer or for Bible study, and he did a whole series for like 2 months. He just kept drilling in forgiveness, and forgiving people. So I'm glad I'm on tonight as well, because it just reminds me and it reiterates what he was preaching, you know, before he passed. It was all about forgiveness, letting stuff go. And he always say, like, you're not forgiving no one, it's like you drinking the poison. But something interesting I saw today, somebody told me about a YouTube thing with Oprah was talking to this guy who wrote a book on, and the title is What Happened to You. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting that Oprah was interviewing this guy who had did like 23 years in jail. And when he got out, she interviewed him. And he was saying that the reason, you know, she asked him, like, you know, what happened? Like, why were you getting in trouble? Or what do you think happened? And he said it was when he started hanging with gang members in high school and started selling drugs and this, that, and the other. And then prior to the interview, she had spoken to him and she said, what do you think about the situation when you came in at 9 years old and you was happy about getting a good report card and your mother was cooking and she threw the pot at you and cursed at you? And it was shocking that he realized that one moment at 9 years old, he just forgot about it because, you know, he figured it was the norm because that's what she normally did. But when he thought about it, that one moment was the thing that changed his life, that made him just not want to, you know, just want to give up. So sometimes we look at people and you say, what's wrong with you? But I thought that was deep, like what happened to you? And it could have been something that happened when you were a little kid, like someone just said, and you never dealt with it and it festered. And when you became an adult, it just turned into something else. So that was deep, what happened to you.
Yeah, yeah. So now Nixon.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So Nixon, me and Nixon met years ago. He was a parent at liaison like I was. I forget what school. I know he ended up at Shabazz being the parent liaison as well.
I started out at Dayton Street until they closed Dayton Street.
Okay, and so Nixon is someone that I truly, truly love. Like he is a true advocate of children, right? He would have the basketball tournaments for them. He really, really, truly can. And I just want to thank you for loving our children, for being there, for being the big brother or the big father, or for providing them food or just listening to them, the listening ear. I just want to thank you for doing your part in the village.
And you know what else I was thinking about, Elaine? I was just thinking today, like, why are we losing so many of our children, like young kids? Because I was looking at an article today of a kid that I had at Shabazz, and he was a freshman, and he's 18 now, and he was recently arrested for being in a stolen car, him and two other gentlemen. And I was looking at some pictures, because, you know, I take pictures of my kids, I save them, and I was looking at a picture when he was in the 9th grade, where he looked like, you know, so different, and he was a different kid. And then I realized, I'm like, why are we losing so many of our kids at a young age to the street? And I realized it's because most adults in the neighborhood aren't building strong, healthy relationship with our children. And I realized that the parenting too has changed, because my mother was 15 years old. She had 6 kids. When she had her first child, she was 15, but she ended up having 6 kids. And we grew up in Prince Street Projects. But even though she was uneducated, when those street lights came on, we had to have our butt in the house. And she was not playing, all 6 of us. But now I look at kids working with kids, and like when I ran, I did the freshman academy at Shabazz for over 8 years. And when you talk to the kids and you hear them say like, I come in the house whenever I want, or my boyfriend or my girlfriend spend the night. I don't have a curfew. I do what I want to do. And I realize that we are losing so many kids because the adults in their life aren't building strong, healthy relationship with clear boundaries. It's almost like they're becoming like the parenting, not all parents, but a lot of parents are more becoming friends with their children. They want their children to like them. My mother and father didn't care if we liked them as long as we followed their rules. And they were both uneducated. My mother dropped out in the 9th grade. My father dropped out in the 12th. They raised 6 kids in Prince Street projects. None of us have ever been to jail. All 6 of us. We've never been in a police car, me or my brother. My sisters, they don't have a lot of children. 2 went to college. I went to college. But they had clear boundaries in spite of them coming from down south with a lack of education. They had clear boundaries and they built strong relationship with their children.
Absolutely, absolutely, Nixon. And true, because me working in the school, and I was a parent liaison, and then I was an aide. I used to say to the children, like, okay, you acting out, you showing off, but in the real world, they ain't gonna care that you got an IEP. They're gonna lock you up. But once I became, and that was when I was an aide, but once I became the parent liaisons and I had to deal with the parents as well, I was like, oh my God. It's bigger than that. It's like you don't you can't get them to come in. Some parents, you can't, it's some parents we never seen. They can't, they don't pick up the report card, but take that child's cell phone. Oh my God, they coming up to the school, they want to fight you. And so that made me had a little outlook on life too as well, right? And I want to read this poem because even while I was at the school, I wrote a lot of poetry, right? And we took my poems, we put them into skits, and the children act them out. And I was watching the kids. So most of my poems was both based off of looking at these kids, right? And so Javon is not up here today, but Javon is one of my students. He was in my drama club, and I reached out to my drama club, and I got 11 of them to write me back. And I got their letters, and I said, I want y'all to write, I'm trying to do something with my Cry for Help production, and I want to see, did I have an impact on you? And the letters that I got, my God, I didn't even know that they looked at me as a savior. Like I saved them. Like I made them feel that we were a family, and that was deep. But one of my poems, and it was a little boy whose parent was on drugs, right? And even with Javon, even though his mother was on drugs, and she came to the shows, because I made it I said, in order for your children to be in drama club, they have to be a part of the show. You have to come, you have to have parent participation. And no matter what, she would show up on drugs or not. And recently, and I'm gonna look for it, she wrote on my post how she felt about me. But this poem was called Dealing Drugs to Mothers, coming from a child point of view. So whether it's Devon or whoever, my mommy is on drugs and I love her regardless of what she say or do. But what she didn't realize is how drugs can take over you. When she takes my money or sell my things, it used to break my heart. But it isn't my mommy's fault. It's the drugs that's tearing her apart. If I could convince her to stay in the house, my heart would feel complete. Every time she walks out the door, my heart skips a beat. Sometimes I don't eat for days at a time. And this is one thing that baffles my mind. How can my mother sell our food stamps and she knows that we don't have food to eat? Is it possible that you could be dead while you still walk the streets? Like, how can a drug take my mother and leave me with a woman who lost all her hope, a woman who would sell herself for dope, a woman who will take food from her children's mouth, a woman who will leave her children alone in the house, a woman who I no longer know, but if she leaves out this house, I will gladly follow. My mother needs me because she is weak. I blame that man standing on Burger Street for giving my mother that powder that she puts in her nose, the powder that turns her into the mother I no longer know. Sometimes I blame myself for stressing my mommy out. Maybe that was the reason why she stormed out the house. Maybe if I was quiet playing with my toys, then she wouldn't be standing on the corner with those boys. It used to bother me when people spoke badly about my mother, but I wouldn't trade her for another. If I could have one wish, it would be to have my mother back home with me. The mother who took care of me, the mother who clothed and fed me, the mother who put her children first, the mother who would barely curse, the mother who I could laugh and talk to. Oh, mommy, how I really miss you. Mom, there is nothing I wouldn't do for you. I want you to know that I will always love and respect you, but I now know things got too rough for you, and somehow you let the drugs capture you. But this is one thing you should keep in mind. that the drugs captured you, but the memory we share is one of a kind. Mommy, there's some things that I went through that you should know. When I grow up, in your footsteps, I won't follow. You see, there were some things I went through, and it was because you let the drugs adopt you. Remember the man you left me with? He didn't look after me. Well, as a matter of fact, he constantly raped me. And that time you sent me to your girlfriend's house, this man taught me a game called Let's Go Down South. Remember the day you couldn't find me? The boys you owed money to enslaved me. So, Mr. Drug Dealers, you enslaved my mommy, and in return, she enslaved me. You showed me that my mommy wasn't as strong as I thought her to be. And because of the fast money, you stole my mother away from me. So I would like to let you know, Mr. Drug Dealers, how you entered into my mommy's life, how you made me a mom to my brothers and sisters, and how for taking my childhood life, how you constantly fed my mother love, drugs, while in return you stole her children's love. But nothing lasts forever, and this you need to know, that God has a place for you, and your drug dealer friends will follow. You will be accountable for every mother and child. You see, in jail, they can only hold you for a little while. But God has a better plan for you that my mother nor I can retract. And when the time comes, you will know it's your drug dealing's payback.
My God.
So sometimes, like if we as mothers on here, and we
I was deep, Elaine.
whatever we doing, we got to know that we're affecting our children, right? And so I just want y'all to keep that in mind. Is this something, Greg? Greg, would you like to say something? Unmute. You muted.
No, I don't got nothing to say.
All right, you don't want to say nothing? Everybody, that's my son Gregory for the record, if y'all never knew who he was.
What's up, Miss Lee? How y'all doing?
Hi, who was that?
This Todd.
Hey, Todd. We
I
got
was
Mr.
muted.
Todd Carter up here. What you say, Todd?
I didn't know I was on mute all that time. I was trying to say hi to you.
Okay. So Todd, Greg didn't want to talk, but so maybe Todd will talk. Todd is a student of ours, me and Miss Miller's, and anybody else from Chancellor, Miss Renee, that went through a lot of things as a student, right? As a child, right? As a gang member or whatever he was doing, right? And it was something about Todd that I always liked the Chancellor, right? And the last time Todd shared, he talked about how we don't have the village like we did back then, like the Miss Millers, the Miss Shorters. He mentioned Miss Shorter, and Miss Shorter just recently passed. He talked about how we don't have them, the ones that you knew truly cared about you, right? And every time I get to speak, or every time I see Todd, and even now I call Todd, we just have a little talks. I just want to know how he's doing, because I felt, and I don't know if Todd felt like this, but I felt like I didn't do enough for Todd. And this is just me. And Todd, maybe you could correct me, but I remember Todd came to me one time and he was like, Ms. Lee, Baraka kicked me out. I need you to get me back in school. I'm gonna do right or whatever. And I went and I spoke to Baraka, and he was like, Elaine, he's just doing too much. It's not going to work here. And then I spoke to Todd about it, and I didn't see him. And then he got shot a couple of times, and he did his thing. And I just felt like I could have did more. I felt like, what if I would have begged more? Or what if I did something? So Todd, could you speak on that?
You did enough. You did a lot. We got to want more. I didn't want more at the time. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I think y'all had got me at Essex County College after that. When I got kicked out of there, y'all had got me at Essex County College for my GD program.
Okay, so Todd, because you said you didn't want more. So back then as a child, a lot of people just thought you was just off the hook. What could you pinpoint the first time that you experienced trauma, and was it the trauma that made you the way you are? Could you pinpoint it? Did Ms. Miller give you a failing grade or something? Did Ms. Miller do something?
Oh, no, back then it's just being uneducated, not knowing how to read and write, you just get scared. So that's what ran me out of school, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then as far as the streets, it's you had to be a man, which you had to be a monster to survive. So that was basically it. But
okay, so if you had to go back and say something to your younger self, now that because now you said you want to mentor, so now that you know better or you got a little wiser, if you had to go back and speak to your young self, what would you say?
I'd have stayed in school. I'd have stayed around y'all. I wouldn't have went to the streets. And,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no. Talk to your young self. If you would have said Todd, what would you have said to Todd now that you know better?
Oh, I definitely wouldn't have made the mistakes. I wouldn't have let myself go in the direction I went in. So, you know, I don't know. I wish I could go back and talk to her.
So Todd, was your father in your life?
He was in and out of jail.
In and out of jail. So do you think that affect you in any way? Because you know, even sometimes it's
Yeah.
men, they needed a man.
Yeah,
around.
you definitely need a man around because a female can't do it all. You get what I'm saying? You definitely need a man around.
Okay.
And if you look at, you know, in the ghetto and the hood, the ones that do got their father around, they kind of alright. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
They ain't as bad as the ones that don't got their father. From what I know from
as a single parent, a woman that raised 3, and I'm gonna say 4 because I have my nephew Khalif living with me too. One day, me and Greg was talking, and Greg was on debate. He was a football player. He was a basketball player. He was like so good at everything he did, right? And everything he did as a family, we got to come, we got to go. Like even with Eric, if Eric didn't get in the game as much, we're going to sit here and we're going to watch him on the bench, right? We did that family thing. And it touched me one time when Greg was saying it bothered him that his father didn't show up or that he didn't come for the graduation. And in my mind, and I said to him, I was hurt, and I'm just being honest, like, I was there. I ran with you. I did everything for you. When you running down the field and scoring that touchdown, I'm running down on the bleachers screaming and yelling. And to find out later that it wasn't enough. He still needed that man figure. That as a mother, like blew me away.
Because he had to work. He had to grow up quicker. You know what I'm saying? He had to be there for you. Like he knows that we see that our mother don't have a male figure. Like is doing everything by herself. So we be having to step up. We be having to rush to the plate. You know what I'm saying? We be forced to become a man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta just thank God that you was like you had like superpowers, that you was just more than a mother. You weren't just trying to mother your kids.
You finish this time, I want to say something too.
You was like taking in everybody kids. So of course you was gonna be able to hold yours down and make sure yours be all right, because you had that umph in you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. So you know what I'm saying, but like now they don't have that now. They don't have nobody. So you got to understand why it's like that. And
yeah, I want to tell my mother that it was, even when I said that, like when I wanted my father there, that don't take nothing from you, because you took it like, dang, I was there. It's just like I still wanted my father to be there to experience everything that I did and the accomplishments I made. But we all say, yo, we needed a male figure, and then those really just be excuses, because at the end of the day, my father wasn't really around. Eric's father wasn't.
Wait, you breaking up, Greg? You breaking up?
He took the path he took. I chose. You can hear me?
Yeah, you was breaking up. You said your father wasn't around.
Yeah, every father was in and out, but you really raised us by yourself. So I chose to make bad decisions on my own. So at the end of the day, it's really up to us to make certain decisions that we make, and we can't really blame it on not having a father or the father not being there, because even though my father wasn't really there, I still had other people in my life, other male figures in my life that wanted to see me do good, but I just had my own internal things, the way I looked at things. Even with all my football coaches, like Coach Pat used to be there for me and everything, but I used to look at it like they don't really love me how my father was supposed to love me or how you love me. They only love me for what I can do for them, because they didn't treat me. Yeah, they didn't treat everybody on the football team or the basketball team how they treated me, and it's because I was a good player. I was one of the stars, so they was only giving me that love because I was good at sports. So I didn't really feel like the real love that I really wanted to get from my father. And even before that, like I always think back now, and subconsciously, we as parents, we do stuff that we don't know that our kids catch on to. Like my uncle Khalif passed away in 1999. I was 9 years old. I was the same age that Devon is when Eric passed away. So when Uncle Khalif passed away, everybody, Auntie Crystal, Didi, Grandma, everybody used to be crying, listening to music, sad in the house. And as a kid, it made me angry. And I realized that once I got older, because it's like I wanted to hurt the person that was responsible for making my family go through so much pain. And even though I never joined the gang, my mother always be happy, like my son wasn't in the game, but I still did a lot of the same stuff gang members do. I got locked up for guns. I went down the same wrong path. So that's really not an accomplishment to me, because when I look back, even when I used to hear stories about my own colleagues, they used to be like, oh, he ain't play that gang stuff. He was tough. It wasn't a bad way but in my eyes, that's glorifying his street life. Like, oh, he didn't let nobody disrespect his family. He had to do this to people, but he ain't play that gang stuff. So me coming up as a kid, I never wanted to be in the gang because Uncle Khalif thought gang stuff was for punks. But that didn't make me not want to be tough in the streets and defend. So it still subconsciously made me glorify the street life. Like, oh, I want to be a gangster like my Uncle Khalif, but I don't want to be in a gang. So we still show our kids stuff by mistake. And we as a whole people never learn how to deal with that stuff, because we never learn how to deal with trauma. People getting killed and losing family members, we deal with it the best way we know how, because we're all ignorant in that sense, because it's not normal, but we normalize it because it happens every day. But in other areas, in the suburban areas, they don't got to deal with dying at 29, their siblings dying at 29 and losing this person to that and everything. So it's like we normalize it and we deal with it the best way we can. But then we don't realize how we hurting our kids. Like I said that I realized that made me angry as a kid. But when my brother passed away, I feel like I'm sending my kids through that same stage, because I can't help myself. Sometimes they come in the room, they see me listening to slow music, crying over Kelly, crying over my brother, and they might be in their head looking like, damn, I'm so angry. I want to hurt the person who made my father feel like this, but I don't know how to turn it off, or not cry and not express myself in front of my kids, or not feel pain. So it's like it's like a cycle that we keep doing. So that's why with this platform that me and my mother created, I feel like we can try to come together as a village to raise a child, or try to use these same things like the other organizations use, like how the army leaves no child left, no man left behind. We're coping with that with no child left behind, or how like just how all these organizations come to whole, that we need to use all them organization things and put it together and help our youth, because they're gonna be lost without it. And we don't have all the answers, but all we can do is try. Like I was just telling my mother earlier, like when I wanna do like how she used to do her drama club and had the kids acting out her poems. I want to do like a big thing. I want to rent out a center, and I want to have the kids go around to each school, ask the kids who want to participate, get about 50 or however many kids want to participate to act out me and her poems. And because they don't do the school plays no more. They don't have a lot of stuff that they used to have when I was growing up, open gym and all these things. So we can give kids a chance to express themselves or to showcase their talent. So we just got to be more involved as a community.
Okay, so wait. So before I ask this question, Karima, the hand is up. So is there something you want to say before I ask that question? Unmute, Karima.
I was actually raising my hand because Mike Morrison wanted to speak.
Okay, so he'll speak after this. Okay. Thank you. So and listening to Greg and you saying the pattern is repeated, right? How we cried and we was hurt and it made you angry. Little Greg is on this line, which is Greg's son. And Greg, you don't even got to show your face, right? You can unmute and don't show your face. I did ask him to speak. He was saying he really couldn't, but Joy's saying he's acting shy. But Greg, I want you to unmute because I just need to ask you this question. So unmute, Greg. Grandma said unmute your thing. Hi, Greg. This is my oldest grandson on here, which is Greg's son. And so, Greg, did you just hear your father speak?
No.
Okay, where was you at? You heard him. I'm not playing. So let me ask you a question, Greg. So, Greg, your father talked about how when my brother got killed, right? We would be in the house crying, and it made him angry as a kid, right? As a child, it made him angry, and he wanted to do something, and he had a lot of anger in him from watching us. And now he says sometimes when he's in the room crying over his brother or Kelly, y'all may see him. And I want to say, do you feel that same anger? I want to ask you that question, but I also want you to say, because you was there when he first got shot, right? The mother came and pulled them up the street. And when I got there, you was on the porch with them. So you sitting there, you see the bullet holes in them, you see the blood. Could you just express to me, because that's trauma, Greg. Could you express to me how that made you feel?
It made me feel like scared a little bit because I didn't know if I was ever going to see my dad again. And when he was there, he was saying he loves me, like he was like I was never going to see him again. And that just kind of scared me and like made me never want to live that life.
Yeah. And so it even affected you so much that when he got shot the second time, I think wherever we was living in Newark, and then he didn't want to live there no more. He didn't even want to come to Newark, so they don't live there. And when you say, Greg, you want to come to Newark, Greg do not want to come to Newark. So Greg, going through that, right, and seeing that, and not only did he get shot that day 18 times and you was there, then your Uncle Eric died, right? Yeah. And so how did that affect you with Eric dying?
It made me question a lot because I would have never thought that would happen to Uncle Eric because I felt as a kid when I was watching him, he was never in that type of stuff. So I just didn't know how to think about that because I never thought that would have happened to him. Yeah.
And so then let's go to the second time. Then your father got shot again. And then Kelly died. How did you feel then?
I was scared. I thought this time that my dad was really gonna pass away. I was crying. I felt like I was about to throw up. A lot was going on in my head. So
I remember one day you came to me and you said, Imani was laughing and joking, right? And then you got a cousin, your first cousin, what's his name? Hope's son. What's Hope's son name?
Yamir.
Yamir. So Yamir's son father got killed. And then Imani got killed. And you said to me one day, you said, I don't understand how they come.
Imani ain't get killed, Mom. Her father got killed.
Okay, I'm sorry. Imani father got killed and Yamir dad got killed. And he said to me one day, do you remember this? That you don't understand how they can laugh and joke because if something happened to your dad, you don't know how you will be able to live, right? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever like try to sit down and say to your dad? Because sometimes, and I'm just saying this, Greg, maybe your dad you need to say to your dad, like, you know, this is affecting me. I feel this way. You know, did you ever try talking to him?
No, I've never did that before.
So you're going to try it after we get off the Zoom? You don't have to do it on the Zoom, but I'm just thinking as a child, what we saying is sometimes as a child and they're going through their trauma, they need to be able to tell somebody how they feel, right? We found out through the What If, and me and you talk a lot. And so I find out through that way, but a lot of times just the fear of you coming to Newark, that you may need counseling. You may need to sit down and talk to somebody. How do you feel about that? You think you need to speak to someone? You think you need counseling?
Yeah, sometimes I'll just be thinking, I'll be talking to myself, thinking how stuff go down by my family and wonder if sometimes is we even safe and stuff like that. I'll just be getting scared. Sometimes it make me feel like I want to cry, all that.
Yeah. So
I think you should, Elaine, I think you should definitely look into counseling because I mean, I don't want him to think that like because of the situation that Newark is just a bad place. Because there are some, you know, there are lots of people in Newark, and this, you know, unfortunately it happens, but it's not the whole. That's not the whole picture of Newark.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's nice that he's expressing that. It's nice to hear that he can express how he's feeling. That's the good thing. He knows how he's feeling.
And that's the good thing.
I feel like people say that. I feel like people say that too, but I do feel like Newark overall is not a safe place or a good place. Even though some people get what they get because they involve their dog, they show for certain activities. But even overall, even with the schools, even when he was going to the school system, like where I live at now, even the kids are totally different. Like the way the kids want to fight down there and the stuff. Newark is really not good. Like as an overall whole, it's not. I don't blame Newark or I just blame the people as a society because of the situation we was in and the lack of certain knowledge that we have and the lack of certain circumstances that people are in. But as an overall, if you compare Newark to other cities, Newark is really not good. Not even with the violence or what happened to me, just in the school system period, the learning system, the way the kids act and treat each other is really not.
But I think you have to look at the school system, and mostly the adults set the tone in the school system. Because I've worked in several schools, and most of the schools that were out of control that I didn't want to be in, it was because of the adults had poor boundaries, and the adults did not know how to conduct themselves as adults, even though they have degrees and they're educated. They were the ones who set the tones of the school.
Right.
But I don't blame the adults. I blame Newark as a whole, because the adults, the same adults that we have in the public schools, we have in the charter schools, and the charter schools don't play that because they not ran by the same people that's ran by the Newark public schools, because they really don't care as much for our kids. Because we had these same adults in these other schools that's located inside Newark. Like when they had the charter school inside Carver, and half of it was charter and half of it was public, the adults act totally different, because they know they can do that, because we don't really show, the parents don't care, and us as a whole don't really care. So they can get away with acting like that because there's no repercussions.
Can I ask you a question? It's funny that you should say that, right? Because my nephew, I got 3 nephews who went to KIPP, but prior to going to KIPP, they were at George Washington Carver. Their parents pulled them out and put them in KIPP. You have the same Newark parents that kids are in these charter schools. What is the difference? Like, why do you think the parenting is different? Because these kids who are doing well in these charter schools, they come from the same cities that these kids that go to public schools come from. The same.
No, the parenting is not different. It's just that it's zero tolerance. The kids, they can get away with what they want to in public schools, but in charter schools, the charter schools will kick them out. They suspend. They would do a lot more that public schools don't really do. Public schools let them get away with, because the system doesn't really care about the public schools.
Let me say this,
but the charter schools, they're zero tolerance.
Let me say this. You're gonna start seeing, because I'm noticing it. You're gonna start seeing a difference in the charter schools too, because now they have this one Newark. And the charter schools can't pick kids like they normally would pick and, have the cream of the crop. They got to take special needs. They got to take kids with behavioral issues. So some of these same kids are being put into these charter schools, and these charter schools are starting to change. It's not as noticeable right now, but they're going to change based on one Newark enrollment.
Yeah, but y'all both saying really the same thing, and it's really accountability. Like even at public school, so we can suspend a kid and send them home and say they can't come back, right? You send them home, you tell their parent they can't come back. That same kid will show up tomorrow, and once he's in the building, you can't let him go. Charter school don't play that. You coming to get them, it's they set boundaries, and we don't, like you said, Nixon, we don't set boundaries. And that's when the village step in. It's been many a day, me working at City Hall, because I was in the school system for 20-something years, Miss Hager from Avon Avenue will call me over to the school. I know you can get through to this young lady. She's very hard to get through. And I will come there and I will meet her. If Shira is still up here, I had to go there because of Shira. She transferred over from Peshawn to Avon. They started bothering her. She asked me to come over there because there's just one girl that nobody can get to that she felt I could get to. So when I got in the building, it was after school. When I got in the building, she went to leave out past me, but it was something about this young lady that got my attention. And I said, hey, how are you? And she was like, I'm all right. She had a little attitude. And I said, what's your name? And she told me her name. And I said, oh, I'm here for you. And she said, what do you mean? So I told her, I said, they asked me to come over to speak to you. You got into it with somebody. I said, can I talk to you? She said, well, you could talk to me real quick because I got something to do. She did all that. At the end of the conversation, I was filling it out. And I said to her, well, okay, well, I'm going to come back tomorrow. We can meet up. Can I have a hug? And she was like, no. And I said, but how I don't need a hug? I said, I've been going through some things. I said, my brother got killed, my son died, and bottom line is at the end, she ended up hugging me, right? And so when we got in this meeting, it's the same child that they was going to kick out. I said to them, we was in the meeting with the social workers, can I talk to her for 1 second? I stepped out, we went into another woman. I said to her, do you want to stay here? And she said, yeah. I said, tell them. You got to say it. You got to tell them what you want. So we end up going back in there. When I said we all were crying, she just needed somebody to talk to. She just needed somebody to hug. She wanted to stay there. And she said to them, I need y'all. I want to stay here because y'all care about me. And so I'm saying that to say that it's the village. We got to step up if you want to volunteer, if you want to. It's just that And that's why even with me carrying on, when I leave City Hall, I need to do something with the kids. I need to do something with the families. I don't know what it is about me that families, the mothers will talk to me. They will open up, the father, and I need to do that. Karima, and I see your hand is up, Rashida, but Karima, the guy that you said that wanted to speak, I can't think of his name right now, but can you please unmute so you can speak? I see you. Okay, Mr. Morrison. I see you, but you're not unmuted yet. Look at that little microphone and touch it. There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Glad to be on with you guys. I'm Reverend Morrison, First Baptist Church of South Orange, the youth pastor there. I'm just all excited about the conversation in this group. I want to respond really to Devon, but then all the other young men came on that had the same issues. I want to share with Devon that he really inspired me tonight. I raised in Newark. I think I'm Chancellor Strong too, guys, because I graduated from Chancellor Avenue in 1978. So I'm Chancellor Strong. But I was raised by a single mom, no father present. And I hear a theme from these young men saying they were angry. And that connected with me because I was angry young man. And I didn't see any positive images as a young man. And so what I learned when I was Devon age is I learned that I did not want to be like the men I saw. I did not use those negative images to make an excuse to be that way. So I didn't want to treat women bad. I didn't want to get involved in drugs. I didn't want to be a dad that didn't be around my children. And so I want to encourage these young men that you don't have to be like the vision that you see.
Yes.
You don't have to own that. You can be the opposite of that because we know that's not good. And lastly, I want to say, when I became a man, right, I treated my dad, right, like the father he should have been. I did not hold that anger with him. So I brought his grandchildren to him. And so I nurtured the relationship with him because once I became a man, Devon, I learned that my father did not know how to father any better than what he did. So I want these young men to use your anger, right? The Bible says angry and sin not. So it's okay to be angry, but use that anger and let that fuel you to grow up and to be successful young men. That's all I really wanted to say because that Devon guy really inspired me this evening. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rashida, you had your hand up. Rashida, Anaya. Rashida, you want to say something?
That was good.
Somebody named Mar.
Rashida muted.
Okay, Rashida, you muted. Unmute. Unmute, Rashida. So you're gonna go to the microphone and hit it. Okay. It's not working. Naeem, let me see something. Let me see if I can unmute you. Naeem, can I unmute Rashida? She can't get it. How do I do that?
No, but she's still gonna have to unmute it, so I asked her to.
Okay, she's trying. While you trying, I think somebody named Mar wanted to say something.
Tell her that it's on her screen.
Unless she on her phone.
Hello.
Yes.
Why is you laughing? I thought Charles.
Oh, Anaya, Fu, would you like to say something, Fu?
Mom,
Stop playing. Be serious right now.
I'm playing because I thought trauma too.
Okay, go ahead.
So my trauma started when the police ran in my house and dragged my mother out in handcuffs away from me and my brothers and sisters.
Okay.
So
How old were you, Fu?
that made me hate police
But
from the beginning.
Fu, how old were you?
And then the police
You're not listening,
murdered my
Fu.
brother. And
Fu.
that made me hate. What?
How old were you when
Yes.
they dragged your mother out the house? How old were you?
I was about 6 or 7.
Okay. And then you said then the police murdered your brother. How old were you?
I was 20 something.
Okay. And so go ahead, because of that, you feel a certain type of way about the police. Go ahead.
So from there, I hated police and still to this day.
Okay.
So that's where my trauma started at. And I got a lot of anger issues too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know why I'm always angry, but I'm always angry.
So let me ask you a question. So when they took your mother away from you, you went to live with who?
My grandparents.
Okay, so your grandparents made you. So did you at that point understand that they took her away because of a crime, or as a child, you just was looking at they taking my mother away from me?
Yeah, at first I just took it as they took my mother away from me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got older and realized what she was doing. But then I understood because she was single and had to make a way for us.
Okay.
So I still didn't fault her for doing what she was doing because she had to make a way.
All right. So does that lesson that you went through, the things that you went through, does that make you different as a parent because you have a son? And then you got taken away and you just came home from jail. So I'm giving you these hard questions because I need you to think. So how does that make you feel with your son? Does that, because now you're being taken away from him. So now that's going to leave him being angry, or we don't know. Maybe you got to speak to little fool. Because you don't want to recreate, you give him back. We got to take it. We got to break this cycle. How are you going to break this cycle so you can be there for your son?
It started by being patient.
Okay.
Because I always was moving fast and always just thought for myself and never thought for nobody else.
All right.
So now that I got a responsibility, I just have to be patient and think things through so that I can make the right decisions and be a better father.
Okay. So let me say something to you. So I don't know if the little girl on here, but the little girl that father, the one who did the, what is it, the thing that we did? The
What if?
The what ifs, right? We did the what ifs. Now, I went to check on her the other day. I asked her mom to join. I don't know if she's up there. Are you up here? So if she's not, I checked her, I inboxed her the other day. Now, she's a little girl that, you know, her father was in jail and she did her what if, and she basically was saying her what if that, you know, her mother is, you know, there, but her father is her go-to. Like she was really close to her dad, right? And he ended up getting sentenced. So I texted her the other day to just check on her, and she was saying, you know, she's doing all right, but now she's angry at her dad because it went from, oh, he was my best friend, he was my person, but now she realized, and this is what mom said, she realized that her dad did things to be taken away from her. And the things that he did, he didn't consider being away from her. So now she's mad at him and she's treating him different. And so I'm saying that to say that, you know, it's patience, but you got to think of being mindful of what you're doing that's causing you to go things. And you don't want little fool to feel like, dad, did he not love me enough that he keep going in and out, or any of them, Pal, Devon, anybody. We and anybody on this line that may go in and out. We got to look at the outcome of what the kid thinking, like, dad, they don't love me enough, or even with Greg, like he don't love me enough to stop doing that they're going to be taken away from me. And so we got to look at it from that point. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry that you going through what you're going through. I mean, that's not your boyfriend. So, you know, you got us over here that, you know, we can get you through it, whatever. I talk to Fu all that I can. I try to do that little mother figure because you know, like you said, every mother, I mean, and this is not nothing against your mother. Right. And this is what we're talking about with the village. Like she did with her circumstance, but I also was a mother with a single mom with 3 people. So we make choices, right? She chose to go that way. I chose to go this way. At the end of the day, it's the kids that's going to have to pay for that. And so we got to be mindful as parents. And I'm saying this to the parents, if they're on here and they're doing certain things, we got to be mindful that our choices affect our children. And so we got to move better. And what they say, if you do better, you will do better. I see somebody else that had a hand up, but I want to go to Queen, right? I see Queen up here. I see her smiling. Queen is like an advocate for the city. I don't know if y'all on Facebook, I know a child went missing. If anybody go missing or anything and they call on Queen, she's right there. She's very passionate, right? I know her as a young lady who used to come through my office down in City Hall, and I loved her passion. I loved her passion for the community.
Hey, Elaine.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt you. My phone about to die, but I need to put something out real quick because I'm thinking.
Go ahead.
On Thursday, this Thursday at 9 a.m., I'm having a women's thing at my school. And I'm looking for women to come by Marion P. Thomas Charter High School at 9 a.m. and speak to the senior girls. It's only going to be for 1 hour, just like the Occupy Newark thing, where the men come in, speak to the boys. Yes. I'm doing it for the first time for the girls at Marion P. Thomas because my phone about to die. So any young lady who is interested in stopping by the school, like I said, for 1 hour, Thursday morning, 9 a.m., Marion P. Thomas Charter High School. I'm trying to get as many women as possible so our girls can see some positive female role models. So this Thursday, 9 a.m., Marion P. Thomas Charter High School, which is 125 Sussex Avenue. Come out, phone.
Could you leave your number? Could you leave your number? Say your number.
Yeah, it's 973-449-6424. Again, that's 973-449-6424. If anyone is interested or know someone, I would deeply appreciate. Any Lane, I need you to stop by if you're available.
Okay.
Yeah, Marion P. Thomas Charter High School, Thursday morning, 9 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, Eric, for joining in. I love you.
Yeah, Elaine, I love you. And I appreciate these calls. Like it is very beneficial and it's very therapeutic. I really enjoy it. But my phone about to die, unfortunately.
All right. Love you, Dixon. Be careful. Okay.
Love you too. Bye.
Yeah, Queen, could you unmute and say something?
Yes, ma'am. Peace, Queen. How are you?
Peace. I'm good, Queen.
I'm listening to the topics and it's crazy because I was just in Linden at Flaming Grill and we had a party for my 5-year-old cousin. So there was other parties in the same room and the balloons, I guess the people was about to leave, so they didn't want to take the balloons and the balloons began to pop. I'm telling you this story because it leads to what y'all talking about. The balloons begin to pop and my 2 little cousins are on the other side of me. And I heard the balloons, but I wasn't paying attention. And I seen him like jump and move. And then I seen him laughing and I just looked up like, y'all okay? He's like, oh my God, I thought it was a gunshot. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, we in Linden. He's like, that's why I don't like Newark. And I was listening to what your grandson was saying. Like, the thing is this, right? If you're not somewhat from the street, you're never going to understand the trauma that these kids go through. If you haven't lived anything in their past, you're not going to understand that. And it's sad because a lot of these kids want better for themselves, but they don't have the right role models to get better for themselves. The grandmothers are too young. They're getting high with them. It's even from the school, because I heard about the charter thing too. My daughter goes to a charter school and I'm like disappointed because the charter schools are starting to mandate the vaccines in order for them to walk past the stage for graduate. It's just so much these kids are traumatized by. And as a community, what do we do? And like you said, when I used to come to your office, it was always about helping somebody else. We don't have too many people that do that, Elaine. We don't have too many needs. We don't have too many youths that'll get out here and risk our life, because that's exactly what we're doing. We don't have people that will actually get out here and risk their life for somebody else's life, to give them a chance to understand that, hey, I love you. Somebody loves you. And that's all it takes sometimes, is somebody to just give you a smile or give you a hug, like you said. And it's pretty hard. Like at the moment, I'm running for council. Yeah.
Queen, I want you to say, because we up here and this is the village, and something you may say may help the next one. So I have my mentee up here and her little friends, and even Sandra. I don't know what Sandra is going through, but I need you to be as real as possible. So even as far as
I got you. I got you. That's all you had to say. I didn't know what you wanted me to do.
I want you to talk about experience, your trauma. Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm 41 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the diaper system since I was 3 years old. I have 6 kids of my own. They also faced me being taken away from me. And in the midst of me having my second child, I moved from Newark to Pennsylvania and I joined the gang. I joined the gang before it even came to New Jersey. I was a blood. I was a part of GKB, which was Gangsta Killer Bloods. From that, I didn't have to do too many weird things to get in, because I was already about that life. I was an angry child, just wanting and seeking attention, some love that my home wasn't giving me. It was a different type of love that I was looking for. I was in stolen cars, I sold drugs, you name it, I did it. But what changed me was I had children. And because I had children, I had to make sure that they were safe. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't do that by myself. I had people like Elaine and other folks in my life, Karima K, I know she up here, that stayed on me. Like, hey, what you doing? That made me feel like I could be somebody in this society, in this world, not just in the city of Newark. Because I went to other states and it didn't work for me. I had to, it was something that brought me right back to the city that I tore up to fix back up. So being in the gang, I became a mentor. I got my own set. Now I'm part of a set called BRIM, Brothers Remain in Militancy. And that's the thing, a lot of people don't understand. Being a gang member, it doesn't make it illegal for you to be a gang member. It's illegal when you do illegal actions as being a gang member in the gang. So let's make that very, very clear. You can make money being in the gang if you're doing the right things that you choose to do for your community or for anybody that you uplifting. So don't always look at the gangs like, oh, they're bad people, because it's not all gang members that are all bad people. And then you're looking at one and you hear one now. I'm not a bad person. I did some bad things and I'm happy. I'm not proud of what I've done, but I'm proud that I went through those things to make a change and be a difference for today. It made me the person that I am now, to where as though everybody's looking up at me, not just the city of Newark, but the surrounding cities, the surrounding states. Some people out of the country, they look up to me because they notice that it's not always what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have people, if you're gonna be something, be the best at it. If it's something bad, make it into something good. And that's what I've done. I've chosen to be a part of something that they claim to be bad. And I'm showing that, hey, sometimes it just takes attention and love for you to be the best that you could be. I love everybody. If it's anything that you have that you have going on in your life and you don't know how to deal with it, I'm definitely there. I'm that stepping stone. Nobody tells me no. I don't take no for an answer. I don't. I can't. I didn't take no for an answer when I did illegal things. So I'm not taking no for an answer now. That's just that. So to those that's out here, I'm not even promoting the gang members. I'm not promoting for you to be in the gang. That I'm not doing, because right now the gangs are washed up. Nobody cares about a gang. I don't care. I'm a high-ranking gang member. I don't care about that stuff. If you're not going to school, if you don't know how to read, if you don't have a job, anything that's positive in your life, I don't even want you around me. I don't need that negativity around me, because now I got a role model for my kids. I got to be a role model for my community, and I'm gonna keep on doing that. I gotta stay positive. My name, they call me Queen Hatari. Hatari means danger in Swahili, but I turned it into a positive. You can turn a negative into a positive. So that's my message for anybody that's facing trauma today. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, you went through this, is that, and the third. You need some medication. Listen, I stopped smoking cigarettes in October. I haven't had an urge since then. It's all about willpower. You got to believe in yourself. You got to be willing to change yourself in order for somebody to help you change you. Okay? It starts within you. You got to be loyal to you. You got to be faithful to you. You have to be honest to you. You got to believe that you will be that future, that person and yourself wants to be. And I am that person today. It's my time. It's definitely my time.
Go ahead, Queen. So go ahead. You was gonna say you running for what?
Oh, so because not of choice, not my choice. Because I love politics. Some of them, okay. I love some of them that I ran into. But it's just not my thing no more, because it's a lot into it. But I was chosen by the community to run because of my background, because I could touch the gang members and, the drug dealers and the car thieves and things of that nature. People like, Queen, we need you to run. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. But I slept 3 days and woke back up and I said, you know what do I have to lose? What am I going to lose if I do something positive for my community? This is what they're asking for. And I asked for support. And they're supporting me. So I can't quit. There's no quitting in my system. So I'm going to run. Win, lose, or draw, I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to help my community.
You running for at large?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now, and even saying that, so do know that This Zoom is not about politics. It's not about religion. We just here supporting and loving on each other, right? And I have no problem with that. And so being honest, sister to sister, like you said, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to love yourself. I watch your Facebooks, right? And as a sister to another sister, this is what I need you to do moving forward. Don't feed into negativity. Right, when somebody jump on your page and they say something on your live, as my little sister, because I'm older than you, I need you to brush past that. But let your work speak for itself. You don't got to argue that. You don't got to say, get off my live, because your work is going to speak for yourself. So moving forward, as my sister, right, I need you to do that. I need you to hold to what you're saying to them. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, tell yourself the truth. And then it's going to speak for yourself. Your work speaks for itself. Right. And I want to thank you for jumping on my Zoom, right? Because I don't even think I sent it to you, but she was on the thing. And I thank you. And I love you. I love you as a sister. I love you for loving the children, because politics, I'm not about the politics. I work in City Hall. I'm a chief of staff. It's not about that. This page is about the village. It's about loving on each other, giving the other one the hand up to help the other one. And so I need you, because I watch you. I need you to don't fall for the banana and the tail pot, right? Don't fall for going back and forth, get off my lot. Don't do none of that. Hey, how you doing? Peace, whatever. And we're going to keep it moving. I need you to do that. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I
appreciate that.
Can I ask what you're running for?
Somebody saying something?
Yeah. Can I ask what she's running for?
She's running for at-large.
Well, here in North, in Jersey?
North, yeah, she's running for North. So the at-large is, it's different positions, South Ward, East Ward, West Ward, it's different wards, and then it's at-large, which represents all the wards, right? And so now what they're doing is there is a petition that you have to sign to get on the ballot. And so they got to have a certain amount. And I noticed on all the lives that a lot of people is up there and they asking people to just sign the ballot. The ballot is not voting for them, it's just to get them on the ballot to be able to vote for them. And so,
Absolutely.
I mean, if you want to give your Facebook name so people up here can follow you.
So my Facebook name is Take the Vote Together. And then it's Queen Danisha. That's DANNISHA CLY BURN. I'm sorry, I'm driving. I'm trying to get out this traffic. These people crazy.
And then if it's any young ladies up here, is anyone like gang related or thinking of it? If you have a question, does anybody have a question for Queen? Since she's
whether you Crip or Blood, I've helped all type of teams.
Yeah, gang
Crip or
member,
Blood,
period. Like,
doesn't matter.
So gang members, period. Even if you just thinking about it, even if it's like Devon or anybody's thinking about it or want to ask her a question, like, do you fear for your life? Do if it's little things you may want to do, if you got to wear a certain color, do you, whatever. I mean, because this is what we up here for, to ask the questions that nobody asks, that we want to know the answers to, that I mean, Queen, like she said, she's not glorifying it. Sometimes you go through things. Sometimes people go to a gang, and maybe Todd, you could tell me as well. You go to this because you're looking for that family. You're looking for somebody to talk to. You're looking for that love, right?
That's why I was saying kids be needing a father, because it's like, you got to come to a person like me for love. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I didn't have how I'm gonna show it. You get what I'm saying? You me for advice. You gotta
so saying that, because you didn't have it, how was you able to give them anything, Todd?
Look what they had. You get what I'm saying? It was like the blind leading the blind. So it'd be like,
yeah.
How can
I'm gonna piggyback off the because I gotta go on another show in another minute.
Okay.
In like another 20 minutes, I'm gonna be on the Anton Wheeler show. If you guys are, done with this, please follow that show. Ask me whatever you want. But I'm gonna go on a color thing. I wear what I want. I wear anything that I want. I could go in anybody's neighborhood because I paid my righteousness to be different. I'm different than other people. Other people out here, they pretend they're tough and they really not. I'm tough when I save somebody's life off the street.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm tough when I feed somebody. I'm tough when I'm trying to help somebody. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So if you had to go back and talk to your younger you, being that you went through a lot of trauma and you went through some things, what would you say to your younger you?
What would I say, or what would I change about my younger?
What would you say to that person? Would you say like, hey, if you had to do it this way, I wouldn't have did it this way? What would you say? I mean, or do you feel that you're the same you? What do you feel?
If I was that, younger you, I'm being honest, very honest, and I talk to my kids about this. I would never change nothing that I went through because I wouldn't be me today. I'm not saying that you got to go through something traumatic in order to be you, but me, I wouldn't change nothing. I was in prison for 13 months. I thought I was in it for 13 years. That was the worst thing I could ever experience in my life as a mother with kids and couldn't see my kids. I would never change none of that because I told myself when I came out, I said, I'm gonna wear this uniform, their uniform, for a whole week and I'm never going back. And I never went back to jail. I never went back. Again, it's about willpower. It's about what you want for yourself. If you don't have, I didn't have people like you, Elaine, in my life when I was a child that was able to uplift me. I didn't have anybody like me that could talk to me about being a gang member or not being a gang member, or being a person that could actually do anything in life that I put my mind to. I didn't have that type of setting when I was growing up as a young woman. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I had growing up, they all passed away from me. So once they passed away, I was an angry kid. My mother beating on me, my mother on drugs. I went through a lot. I'm the reason why my mother off drugs. I fed my mother drugs to get off of drugs. That's how she became drug free. And then when I noticed that she was off in 2 years, I used to give her a piece of jewelry every year. Ma, you did it. We got to celebrate. We're going to have a different type of party because now I could talk to my mother regular and I don't got to worry about her getting high and chasing after some dude out here. Listen, I've been through just as much. We could be on here all night. So I'll be on here again because this is a story and these are the things that some people need to hear because a lot of people think that their trauma isn't somebody else's. It definitely is.
Absolutely.
It definitely is.
Absolutely. And what I said too, Queen, and I know you got to get off, what I said too, that this is for the village. This is not, we're not going to get off and talk about people. We here to help people, to uplift people. Like we that village that when we had, well, I don't think you had it, but listen to what but I was on that little block that if the neighbor was hungry, you fed them. If your mother wasn't there and we knew, like, I have a poem that would, that he was talking to the men and he was saying, how you expect me to respect you when you knew that my house was the fiend house on the block? And then you asked me why I clock? Why not? Like it's people hustling and doing things because they don't have a choice. We don't have that same village back then when we looked out for each other. And so that's what we're trying to build here. Whether if I get my 8-year-old grandson up here, whatever, I just need a place where we can talk. We can heal through this trauma. Like if anybody said whenever got killed, I used to feel when I think Dawn said to me one time, you traumatized. That bothered me. I'm not traumatized. So one day in Greg group, he had a family group and I had to realize that I am traumatized. He was like, Mom, you call me every time I'm outside. What you doing? And being a single mom, and I'm telling y'all this, whether if ever got killed, when they want Greg, at the end of the day, I'm still that mom that gotta still stand strong. I still gotta smile when I'm hurting, right? My smile cover a lot of pains. I live in fear. I live like, oh my God, is this the day that I'm gonna get the phone call that my son died or get killed? But at the end of the day, I believe what's gonna be, what's written is written. I can't live off of fear. I gotta have faith, right? And that's what we gotta do. But my smile hides a lot of pain. And it's still enough pain that I'm still going to help the next person. I'm still going to love on the next person. I still got a Shira and all these other little young ladies that look up to me that have that motherly talk with them. I do talk to their mom. I do make sure it's fine, that it's okay, that I'm not going to overstep my boundaries, but I'm going to love on them. I'm going to give them that love that they need. And I thank you, Queen, for joining. Y'all got her information. I don't know if you want to get
it back up here because somebody else said that they can take my number. You can call me anytime of the night. Listen, I answer my phone call for domestic violence, you name it, 3, 2 in the morning, it doesn't matter. So my phone number is 862-763-7324. Again, that's 862-763-7324. I sleep with my phone by my head. Call me.
And I see, Karima, you said you sent it. Now, when I asked her, like, how did you get up here? It was no disrespect. I'm just saying, I knew I was going through my thing and I didn't make it to your name. I mean, I definitely will have you because I know you really, really care. And I really want people up here that I know that care, that really love on these people. So that's what I want. Go on to your next show when we off our pop on Answer on Willa. That's like my little cousin. So stay safe out here, Queen. Don't forget what I said. Don't feed into the nonsense. Stay positive. Stay that strong Black woman that you are, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, love you, Queen.
I love you more, baby.
All right. I think somebody had their hand up. Maestro, did you still want to talk?
Quit playing.
Who said quit playing? Is Maestro still up here? I don't see Maestro
No,
or.
Shalika Hill got hand up, man.
Okay, Shalika Hill, would you like to speak? I think Maestro must have got off. Go ahead, Shalika Hill.
Yes, it's Shaquilla.
Oh, Shaquilla, I'm sorry, Greg said it wrong.
Elaine, you probably don't remember
But it was
me.
an L.
I'm Nuki, this Yancey daughter.
Oh, hey, Nuki, yeah, I remember you. Hey,
So
how
I
are
just
you?
wanted to, I'm good. I just wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying, like far as taking, having a village. And I can only attest to this because I remember being a baby and my Nana lived next door to you guys, and you, Crystal, and Dee Dee used to change my diapers. And I played and grew up with Tiffany and Damon and Pooh and all of them. And I'm just grateful that I had you guys to be a part of my village growing up, because the kids today, they don't have these resources. You guys looked out for us, I would run from your house to my house, vice versa. And one of my traumas that I face today is on my dad's side of the family, all the boys on that side of the family either goes to jail or it's been death. I lost my cousin Roddy to the streets. I lost my cousin Little Dwight to the streets. Meddy is Meddy. And I have a son, and being a single mother, that is one of my fears every day, because, it's a generational curse in my family, unfortunately. My dad was in the streets, my uncles, but thank God, they live a different life, but it's scary, because we have become so desensitized to death.
Mhm.
Because it's like a repetitive thing, and losing the young men in your family, it's not normal. As normal as it may seem, is not normal. I have a trauma that I didn't know that I had. I can't drive through Maple Avenue, Mapes and Hansberry. One day I drove through there unconsciously after Roddy got killed, and something came over me so bad. I was shaking and crying in the car, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? And I was telling my dad about the experience that I had, and he was like, it's a trauma. And I'm like, I don't have trauma.
Mhm.
And I literally had to put myself into therapy because of the deaths that I've encountered. And growing up with somebody, more often than I would ever growing up, our cousins was like our brothers and sisters. So Roddy was a brother to me more than my cousin. So to lose him, and then prior to him, before him was the baby Rockmon. And now having my son being, I don't even know the word because I don't want to speak this craziness, but he's almost like fascinated with his life, and I'm like, I pray so hard, because again, when you've lost so many men in your family to either the system or death, it's like, you try to hold your kids that much closer. And it's hard sometimes. But I just wanted to get on here and thank you guys for being a part of my village, because it's funny, me and Tiffany was on the phone today, and we were speaking about almost everything that you've brought up in this meeting today. And God just has a way of giving discernment. And I just want to thank you guys, the entire Lee family, for being a part of my village ever since I was a baby. I really appreciate you guys. And I'm glad that Tiffany told me to get on this live tonight, Elaine, because it was very therapeutic for me. It resonated a lot with me. And I will definitely be following your lives.
Okay, but this is what I'm gonna need you to do, though. Naya, Naya's too bad. Now you're gonna go next. This is what I'm gonna do. You see how you said it's like a generational curse? We could break that curse. Like you had me, then maybe your son. But wait, maybe your son need a Greg, or maybe they need a Tide, and they need to speak to them to let them know, like Greg got shot 28 something times. He got the shot, he got the like, and if he can go into the school, once they see Greg and Tide, but once they see Greg, he look like them, he got the tattoos, he got the jewelry, he dressed fly, they can relate to them. So we need somebody like Greg to hook him up with your son. We need to do that. Because we definitely want to break this curse.
Yeah, I definitely, he's 20 years old, and he went through something when Roddy died. He has this anger, Elaine, that I can't, I don't even know sometimes. It scares me. It scares me. And And, you know, he was close to Medi, but you know, he's where he at now. So it's just like, it's hard. It's hard. You know, my dad live in Virginia. He do what he can from afar. My uncle Murad, you know, he associates a lot with him, but maybe he do need to speak to somebody like your son, Greg. So if I could, I can either get his information, I guess, from Tiffany or,
Greg?
Yeah, because I definitely need to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would definitely take care of that. Go ahead, Greg. You were saying something?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, I was saying she could get it. I'll talk, but this is what I want to say about my mama. Because look, I'm not everybody. I got shot 25 times. My brother got killed, and then 2 months later, I got shot again. Because I got shot 18 times, then I got shot 7 times again. And then the girl that was in the car with me, she passed away. So I'm still. So what made me start doing poetry is I was on house arrest because when I got shot again and my friend in the car with me passed away, they found the gun. So I was locked up for the gun. I was on house arrest, and they told me to write in my journal. So I started writing poetry. So when I started writing poetry, I started expressing how I felt, and I just wanted to give back to the youth and tell them my story and what I've been through. So I'm really not all the way. I still got issues. I'm angry. I lost my brother. I lost my girl. Like,
but you could relate to her son.
I'm not even really fully here. Yeah, he can relate to me, but it's like I really don't know how to really deal with certain issues because everybody gonna have that revenge factor. So it's like you gotta just look for something good that you can do. So I could try to talk to him, but I'm really not there. I really need to talk to somebody too because I'm still dealing with the loss and the grief and the pain, and so it's like I'm still in a lot of So it's like.
But so that's
that's gonna be hard.
Like with Amanda's son, Chrissy, right? Even after his son died, and I mean his brother died, and he feel like that. There's a lot of anger. People do want revenge, but you know, Chrissy talk to you, right? And certain people like you said, your father and certain people they ain't gonna open up to. They probably even open up to me. It's something about me that I know how to get to them, and it's all right to listen. The grief stage is anger. The grief stage is revenge. Yeah, so that's the grief stage. And if Greg can't do it, we're gonna find somebody that can. Because again,
I'll talk to him because it's just about like the pastor said, anger is that's a good emotion to have. It's just somewhere to be able to place that anger. So that's why even what I said about letting the kids be able to express it, because he might even be able to find the talent because they said God put us to give us our treasures in the dark. So he take us to our worst moments in order to give us our gifts. So when I was in that worst and that darkness, going through all that pain, that's when I found out that I can do poetry, that I can speak to certain people.
Could you let them hear that song that you? So Greg, because there's new people.
I said it so long, I don't even know if I remember it by heart.
I got it in front of me. And you ain't gonna never forget that. But so like he said, the lady gave him a book and said to write. And so even though he was hurting, he wrote, and maybe your son needs to do that. And so like Greg, we never looked at Greg as a rapper, as a poet. And when he did it, I'm like, what? I mean, you know, so writing helps a lot. Maestro, I'm gonna get you. Writing helps a lot.
Too, yeah,
okay.
So I'm gonna either he could give it to me now, or I could reach out to Tiffany. But either way, I need to reach him. You know, nothing beats
Tiffany text her his number. Tiffany texts his number.
And I get your number also, Elaine, from Tiffany.
Okay, absolutely.
Right,
I love you.
Love you too.
All right, so Maestro, before Maestro get on, Anaya been asked to speak.
No. Go ahead.
Naya, would you like to share? Naya, come on, don't do that. Go ahead, Naya.
Go ahead, Maestro.
Naya is my daughter. She's been through a lot of trauma as well. And look at the little young lady, Sandra. She laughing at you, Naya. So she might need some little wisdom from you over there. So go ahead and say something, Naya. I'll put on.
Well, my trauma started.
Go ahead.
My trauma started in like the 8th grade. I was raped. I went with my friend, my best friend, somewhere to see her little boyfriend. We were supposed to have been on the porch. However, we got inside. I didn't let her go in alone. And I was raped. I was screaming for help. She heard me screaming. She was acting like he was holding her. She didn't help me. And then, you know, she ended up apologizing, saying she heard me. She wished she could have helped me. He was holding her. So I never forgave her for that, still to this day. I'm still friends with her. I mean, her daughter's my goddaughter, but I still never forgave her. But the worst part of the trauma about that to me was that I couldn't tell my brothers. So me growing up was, my brothers was my everything. We got. That's how we was raised. And I couldn't even go to them in a time of need. Like my mother and everybody kept telling me, we can't tell them, you know, it would get out of hand. And I had to hold that in for years and years and years. And it wasn't so recently that I don't even know if Eric was alive, but that I was able to tell him.
You told him
I'm
he was
still mad.
alive.
I'm still mad about that too. I forgot about that. I'm mad about that.
So yeah, so
Okay,
my
and as a mother,
mom, I'm
ahead.
talking right now. Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
So
just got
my trauma was that I couldn't go to the people who I felt like would protect me. I went to my father. My father said, well, you shouldn't have been being grown, going with your friend. At the time, Raz Baraka wasn't the mayor, but he was close to me. He was my godfather. I went to him. He was there for me. Like, he was more of like the father figure to me. But the fact that my father, even afterwards, he didn't stay around to like protect us, to make sure, because the boys was outside, that we was protected. He just left us there, like to fend for ourselves. So like, I felt like that turned me into like angry. And then on top of that, then Greg got shot up. Eric was there walking me through, me thinking Greg was gonna die. And I never really imagined my life without them.
It's okay, go ahead.
I always said, like, I can't live without my brothers. I said that. I always, when I was coming up, I used to say, like, if my mother was to pass away, like, I would be able to make it because I would have Greg and Eric. Then Greg got shot, and then think Greg was going to make it. Eric was standing there telling me, like, stop crying out here. You making them think they won. He was just there, like, then Eric got shot. Eric died. I can't accept his death. Like, I can't accept it. I know that we all live to die. And I know, like, I don't know, like, I worry about Greg. I feel like, like, I don't blame nobody. I feel like at the end of the day, this just turned me into a demon. Like, I don't look at people the same. I'm always angry. I smile, I be mad at my mother sometimes because she feel like we gotta be so strong, and like, I'm so weak right now. Like, I'm just like a walking depression, right? And I get mad at her because she be like, you all right, you strong, like, we gonna get through it. And like, we not okay. Like, we not. I don't want to talk to a therapist because at the end of the day, we have to lie to a therapist. I gotta sit in front of a therapist and say, like, I gotta lie. I want to tell a therapist I want to kill people. Like, this is how I feel. I don't want to lie. Like, so at the end of the day, like, I have a lot of trauma. After Eric died, I went into a deep depression. Like, I really lost myself. I ended up getting sick, and I'm just getting sicker and sicker. And like, everybody thinks that my life is normal and my life is hell. Like, they don't imagine. Y'all don't know what I'm going through. Like, all I got left is Greg. And if I lose Greg, then like, then the world just gonna die.
You got me too, baby.
But at the end of the day, like, trauma is like, I know I'm affecting my kids because my kids got to see everything that I'm going through, and I know Devon angry, and it's to the point where I know he want to hurt people in his head because he say it all the time, and it's like, how can I help him and I can't even help myself right now? Like, how can I be there for Greg and I can't be there for myself? How can I be there for my mother and I can't be there for myself? Like, I don't know, but I don't forgive my father, but I deal with him. I'm angry with him because he didn't protect me. Like, it's just, I got a lot going on. So like, I don't know.
Wow, I didn't expect all of that. But thank you for sharing. I'm glad that you was able to get that out. And as a mom, I want this to be known, like, because I get it. Like, you had to deal with the rape by yourself because you didn't let your brothers know. But as a mom, right, and as a person that my brother was murdered, and then even with Al Tariq and Rajeen and Pooh shooting the boy because of his uncle, they was fighting. I know that you can go get somebody. And I used to say to you, you can go tell them. And I know you wanted to tell them, but I figured, like, if you can go tell them, and if something happened and then Greg get killed in the mix or Eric could get killed in the mix, then you would hold that with you the rest of your life. Like, I was the cause of my brother's whatever. And so that's why I didn't. Eventually it came out, and it came out, I guess, the way it should have, but it came out. Matter of fact, it came out through your father saying it to Greg on a collect call, right? And so that's how it came out. But at the end of the day, I did that to protect you, to protect your brothers. We did go as far as the police. We did go to Raz. Raz even said, go let Greg fight them. Well, he was a gang member, so I didn't know if they was going to come back shooting, and I didn't really know. And as a mother, you don't have a book. You don't have a book on how you're supposed to do it. You just got to go. And I thought I was saving and protecting them. I know your pain. I hope sharing and talking helps you. Maybe doing a book helps you. But I say we strong. I'm strong, but I know I kept saying to you, now you got to be strong. You got to be strong. And I think it was Basima. Somebody brought it to my attention. How did you feel when your brother died? My only brother got killed. And I fell apart. I had a shrine. I didn't want nobody to touch my shrine. Baz came. She thought she was going to take some stuff down. I gave her this look like, I dare you, right? And I had to sit back like, Dad, she going through what I went through. That's her brother, right? And I blocked that for some reason. And I'm sorry that you're going through this. And again, you know, God don't put no more than we could bear, and we all come and we go, and all we could do is pray, right? I can't give you the answers, right? I say the same thing for Greg. I can't help Greg. All I can do for Greg is pray. And so this family right here, right? For everybody that's on here, this family got a lot of pain, right? And we still able to help somebody, because what you're going through right now, I'm watching Sandra and I seen the tears, and what you said, Naya, even with Rashida, she tearing up. That may help somebody. Right. And so our pain is going to help heal somebody else. And hopefully in the midst, it heals Divine. Because if it's nobody, I'm going to break the generational curse. Right. And I know, but anger comes with, this is a part of life. Right. And I don't know if somebody want to jump in. Joy, you want to jump in? I see Joy just texted me. If anybody want to, Joy, unmute Joy. So Joy is Greg's, little Greg mom. Joy got a lot of pain in her too, right? She's sending little pictures. Joy, could you unmute and say something?
Oh, this awkward, but hi.
Hi, Joy.
Just sitting here listening to Naya, like, it got me tearing up.
It's okay, go ahead.
You know, like, me and Greg got together, but we still family, so. Greg in the background saying, Mom, stop crying. But, you know, like, I got trauma from the past and seeing what went on. And sometimes I feel like it affects my relationship I'm in now, because I can't get over some things. Like, Naya, like, I love you. But hearing what you're going through and still going through is heartbreaking. Like, and, yeah, I was there. Greg got shot 2 times, and when I see little Greg earlier, and I hear him talking, and I'm like, I pushed him to get on the phone because I want him to talk. I want him to get that pain out of him, because even though he's so quiet, I know that inside he's hurting. Like, it's so much I can say, but you know, I almost lost my life too. It's a lot, but you know, I still love all of y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. And I don't know, that's all I gotta say.
Well, you know we love you too, Joy, and you're always gonna be in our life regardless of what, whether you the kid's mother or not. You stayed with me ever since you was 14 years old. So you stayed with me a lot of years, and I love you. I'm very proud of you. Right. I'm glad that you're the mother that you are. And in the midst of it, Greg, Eric was your brother too. And so I know when you send me little things about Eric and you miss Eric, Rashida, all of y'all, like even Joy and Rashida, like y'all have been in our lives. And I look at y'all like they sister, even though you dated Eric and Rashida, and you dated Greg, Joy, you still is my daughter. Y'all my daughter. And what we go through, I know y'all go through. I know y'all miss Eric, both of y'all. And I mean, we just gotta pray. I mean, I think all we can do is really give it to God. I'm glad that we up here opening
I
up.
want to say, I'm sorry tonight that you had to go through that by yourself. And I used to get mad at mommy, and I never brought it up because I know she was dealing with a lot of stuff. Because I felt like if I could run, and when I found out people was messing with you in school, and I risked my life and I beef with gang members, you know, I'll die for y'all. So I really didn't care of that they felt like that they was gang members. But I grew up and I understand why mom didn't want to tell me, but I just felt like I feel like I protect y'all, and I couldn't protect you when that happened to you. I couldn't protect Eric when he passed away, and that just be really hurting me or whatever. But I guess God do stuff for a reason. Enjoy. I know we be beefing sometimes, or we don't really be beefing. We be not speaking and all that. But I just want to tell you, I'm sorry for all the stuff that I put you through, because even when I go through all my pain and all that, I know you had to go through a lot of pain of me loving Kelly and being so hurt that she died, because you really loved me. You was with me. And then you almost died when I got shot the first time, when they tried to kidnap you and everything. So I just want to tell you that I'm sorry for that. And we could go through what we go through, but I really appreciate how you still be there for the kids. You don't take me through a lot. We co-parent, we split the kids, and I know I snap at a lot of stuff that you do, because I feel like you shouldn't do it because you know better. But I'm just angry, and I deal with stuff the wrong way. Like, I be angry at my girlfriend now. I yell at the kids. I don't do a lot of stuff. I don't deal with certain situations like I'm supposed to. But I just appreciate all y'all. Naya, you know I do anything for you. I know mom, you my mother, and you ain't, but I just feel like you probably did the right thing at the time when not letting me know. But I just feel like I just feel like I'm sorry Naya, for not being there for you. I should have found out or knew, because I used to do everything else, follow you when you skip at school and do all that other stuff. I just felt like I should have been on you and knew that happened.
Hello? Greg?
Yeah.
Okay. You finished? Because I know, my laptop had the nerve to die. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'm finished.
Joy?
Oh yeah, I accept your apology, Greg. I know who you are. I've been knew you for years. Like, I get mad, but it's like, I know what you're dealing with, what you're going through. So it's like, I know one day you'll be able to get through it. Maybe you won't, but I just know how to deal with you accordingly. Like, so it's no hard feelings. Like, I said, at the end of the day, we've been through a lot. We always gonna be family.
Anaya?
Yeah.
You got something to say to Greg?
No, I don't feel like he should have known, because he used to follow me. At the end of the day, I feel like he was being a father that I didn't have. Like, him and Eric was just protecting me by following me or doing whatever he did. Like, I used to look at it and be mad, but I don't want to talk no more.
Okay, well, we love you, Naya. So, I mean, you got a whole bunch of people up here that maybe, they can give you some words, or you can reach out to. Or if y'all up here and y'all hear Naya pain, then maybe y'all can reach out to her and give her some words. All right, Ms. Miller, you got to get off. Say something before you get off, Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller, unmute to say what you're going to say before you get off.
Okay, this has really been an eye-opening session. It's truly I'm just lost for words. It's truly a village. It's wonderful that a group of people could get on and express how they feel and heal at the same time.
Yep.
You guys, I'm definitely going to add you to my prayer list, because I know with prayer, so many things are possible. Don't forget the healing passage of therapy as well, because sometimes some of the pain that we experience, we need to really talk it out in a session to be able to heal. When I was going through a lot of problems, I went to 2 counselors, and it took about 2 years before the healing actually set in. And so don't forget that aspect. Elaine, I love you so much. You have been so very impactful to so many people that you don't even know. I saw that spirit in you long time ago at Chancellor Avenue School, and that spirit has indeed gotten stronger. I love you, girl. I have to get off because I do have another Zoom session. Please let me know about the next session because I love being part of this village. Thank you so much, Elaine.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. I love you. And Ms. Miller,
I
love you too.
Go ahead, Naya. What'd you say?
This is the last thing I want to say to Greg. Don't ever feel like you didn't protect me. And at the end of the day, we protect each other. And it's nothing that I wouldn't do for you. Like, I lay down and die for you. I would have laid down and died for Eric. And mommy always say to me, like, when I'm running or whatever happening with you, I don't care what it is. Like, you know, you just gonna leave your kids behind and I gotta raise them. And I know that's selfish of me, but I don't think that I'll be able to raise my kids if God took him away. So I just pray that God take me before he take Greg, and that, like, it's nothing that I wouldn't do for you. Like, and I know it's selfish, and I'm sorry to my kids to say that, but it's nothing I wouldn't do for him. That's all I want to say.
It is, because I feel like you should know that I'm the big brother and I was like Eric's little brother, but I used to be Eric's big brother, and I just feel like I'd be so angry because we got the kids and Greg going through it, he going through it, Devon is angry, and we know something's gonna happen to us, and I feel like something's gonna happen to all of us, and I feel like if I could see somebody that harmed my family and we all supposed to have been changed and everything, and I could do something, or if I have to die, I feel like I'm willing to deal with that because I feel like I'm so angry that God didn't let me die the first time I got shot, because if I would have just died, Eric will still be alive, Kelly will still be alive, and we wouldn't be going through a lot of the stuff that we go through as a family, because everybody, nobody else had nothing going on. I'm so angry that Eric had to pass away. He never did nothing to nobody. Kelly never did nothing to nobody. So it's like, at the end of the day, I can't see myself seeing somebody, or just, God forbid, I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time and I see somebody and I know that I'm supposed to be here for my family and raise the kids, but I just ain't never get to that point in my life where I could just accept the fact and let that go. So I feel like you need to be strong and you need to be a woman and be my little sister and be here for the kids and be here for everybody else, because it's not your place to die for me or be there for me. You're a woman and you got to be here and reproduce more kids in our family. I feel like with every decision I made, I feel like I got to take responsibility for it, and I'm accountable for it, and I don't need nobody to protect me or to be there for me, because I'm the one that's supposed to protect all y'all. So I just want you to know that I love you and you could survive if anything else happened. If anything happened to me, you and mommy, you got my kids. You got to be there for everybody in the family.
I agree with everything you said, except the reproduction part. She don't need no more babies. Boom.
I got her.
Somebody had their hand up.
Go.
And I know this is getting real emotional, but Maestro, could you say something before we leave out of here? Miss Miller, you said you had to get off. Get off, Miss Miller. She don't want to leave. Maestro, you done had your hand up. You done came back and left and came back. Is there somebody else that wanted to say something? Because we're going to be closing soon. I mean, we usually do 2 hours. Sandra.
I want to say that I love all of y'all. That's all I want to say.
I mean, I've been through a lot, so I don't know. I don't really know where to start. It's just right now I'm on my own, and I'm trying to get my stuff together. So when I turn 18, I could get my sister out my mother's house, because my mom, she has mental problems. Mm-hmm. So she don't really do what she got to do as a mother, you know? And that's really all it is.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So listening to everything today, how do you feel? Do you look at things different? Do you look at it like you said, if she got mental problems, maybe it's not her fault?
Yeah, I try to tell her, you know, go to therapy, do things for herself, but she just doesn't listen, so there's nothing I could really do. You can't help somebody that don't want to be helped.
Absolutely. How old are you, Sandra?
I'm only 16.
Wow. I'm sorry that you're going through what you got to go through, right? So you can get my number from Elliot, And even people on this line, if we can help you in any way. I'm sorry that you feel like you're alone. You're really not alone, right? Elliot.
Yeah, I can see that I'm not alone, but it's really hard because I can't really help myself. Like there's a lot of things that my mom needs to sign for that if I call her, she won't pick up the phone.
Hey,
You have
excuse
children?
me, Miss
You have
Lick, she
children,
in Newark.
Yeah, she
I
goes to
really-
RYO, Todd. She's in Newark.
Mhm.
You have children, Sandra?
No.
Okay, so you live in Newark, right?
Yeah.
So now you're going to RYO because you're trying to get your high school diploma, right?
Yeah.
So RYO is like a program that for the kids that couldn't really succeed in the public schools, and maybe had dropped out or have reasons to drop out, they go to this program and it helps them get their diploma. And hopefully sometimes after that, I don't know, Elliot, if you on, they help them with employment.
With trade school and stuff, yeah.
So don't say your address, but what side of Newark are you in? Like, is it the South Ward, the East Ward?
South.
The West Ward? You're in
The South
Ward. Okay, so that's my ward. I'm the chief of staff for the South Ward, but bigger than that.
Oh
I
yeah,
know y'all-
you definitely not by yourself. Just
Okay, and that's
you
Todd
got people over here. That's where I'm from. So
Yeah, I see a lot, and I know I talk to a lot of people. I like to talk to people, so I know I'm not the only one going through what I go through. It's hard when you gotta do it.
and we should be able, I think we should be able to get her some help though, right?
Yeah,
Being as
absolutely.
though she
So
in Newark.
so listen. So she's in IYO. So IYO is a program. Is Elliot still on that would get her what she need? So certain things that you can't. So we can't get her a signature if her mom won't give her a signature.
Exactly. My father, he don't got custody of me, but he's still on my birth certificate. So there's some things he could sign for. But next year he's leaving to Columbia, so I'm definitely gonna just be on my own afterwards.
But can she be an emancipated minor?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to get help with, and it's like I tell my diapers worker, she don't help. You know.
So Miss Wallace or our Elliot can't get anything to. Where are they at with that part? I'm gonna speak to Elliot after this though, because it got to be something that we can do. So you stay where? Because you said you on your own. You stay by yourself. But where you
Yeah, I stay with my boyfriend. You know, he went through his stuff too. So right now he's 19 years old, and thank God we got this place to stay. But you know, if we didn't have this place to stay, I don't know where would we be at. Honestly.
His family is not there for him as well.
No, they're all in Virginia. His father's in Florida. So I don't got family here. My family's either in Columbia or in Brooklyn, and everybody in New York, they got mental health problems. Everybody's like, you know, my uncle just died of an overdose, you know. So there's a lot of things.
Counseling, baby.
Yeah.
No, look, right?
No, I'm trying to get into counseling and therapy right now because I know there's a lot of things that, you know, make me sad. So I try to work through it and I try to do best as I can. Like, I don't even go to school every day because it's just so hard to get up. You know, it's so hard to get up. There's nobody telling you to get up. My mom's not calling me. She's not telling me, come, you know, get up. There's nobody telling me to get up.
Yeah.
I have to do that.
Listen to me. Listen.
Elaine, I want her to get my number.
So say it, Karima. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'm
This is
about to give her my
Karima.
number. Oh no, honey.
That's
But listen to this. Listen to this, Sandra.
Karima will definitely aggravate you, Sandra. Sandra, she will definitely aggravate you to get up, sweetheart. Please.
Karima, yeah. And this is what I'm saying, but you sound very strong to be a 60-year-old. You just the fact that you can acknowledge what's going on in your life, right? And so, and I need to just say this to you. I know it's rough, and you gotta force yourself. Get an alarm clock, baby. We're gonna be calling you now. We're gonna get your number, and we gotta call you on Instagram. If you don't got a phone, we're gonna make this.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's my problem. So I'll put my alarm and I'll see the alarm and I'll wake up and I'll look at it and I'll just turn it off and I just don't want to even deal with the thing.
Boyfriend at now? Where's your boyfriend? Is he there?
Sandra, take down my
Yeah, he's in the
number.
room.
Okay, so he's gonna have to play a part in this. Karima, Karima put her number in the chat, Sandra? Look in the chat, and that's her phone number. So you're gonna take her phone. Do you have a phone or you on Instagram? Like how?
I have a phone. I could put my number.
Okay, put your number up there.
Yeah, put your number in there.
Yeah, put your phone number in there. Then we're gonna reach out to you and we're gonna try to see what we can get you via citywide? Because the city got a lot of things that they could probably help you with.
Yeah, because I wanted to get emancipated and stuff, so I could sign for my own apartment and all of that. Like, I want to be able to do everything I can and not have to wait on nobody.
So let me ask you a question though, Sandra. So if you was in a different situation, do you still feel like you would live with your boyfriend? Do you feel like you're too young to be in a relationship? Like Howard, because you're 19 and he's 16. I mean, he's 19 and you 16. At some point, and if he's hearing me, he can get on to, he has to help you, right?
Yeah.
Both of y'all can't be broken. Y'all gotta help each other to help each other. And if that's to get you up in the morning so you can get your diploma, because if you get a diploma, you can get some things moving, right? If you knew better, we'll do better. So we gotta do something as a village. If I come knock on that door, all right, come on, let's go. We gonna
Yeah, my main thing is I'll get up. It's just I look at the weather. It's just like everything that I'll just make excuses for myself.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, it's too cold and all of that.
Because you come from a family of mental health, so you probably got some in you too.
I do.
Right.
I've been incarcerated. I've been in therapy since I was 7 years old. I've been through a lot. Like
I need you to
I got
put
a
your
lot.
phone number in there. What's your phone number? I need that number.
I put it in the chat.
Oh, I don't see it. Hold on.
It says Sandra, Naya says, Sandra, you can always call me.
Where's that number at?
Sandra, just text Karima. Text the number that Karima put in.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna put it again, but it's 201-779-5334.
Okay, so again, let me make this clear. So
5334?
Yeah.
201-779-5334. So moving forward, so we don't want this to ever come back. Number one, we're not counselors, right? We advocate for the city. So we're going to do our part as a village, but we don't want to say, oh, they think they're counseling. Some people could go left with this, but we here as a village, we got Karima work for the city. I work for the city. I see Jamila is up there. Jamila, speak. You got your hand up. What you want to say? Because that's very, very rare. Jamila is one of the aides to South Ward Councilman John James.
I wanted to speak at the end, so you need to finish up with saying.
Okay.
I
work for the city too, Sandra. I work at the Shawnee Park Women's Resource Center.
And I work for the.
You work for where, Ty?
Oh no, that wasn't me, but that's what I was going to tell her about that. The Barack Center. That's you too. Oh my God.
Ty, what you say?
I feel like a coward.
You say you want to tell her about the Shawnee Barack Center?
Yeah, I was going to tell her about that, but I feel like a coward being from the South Ward, and that's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Elaine, did you write Sandra's number down?
Yes, I did.
It's 201-779-5334.
Yes, I got it. So Ty,
Sandra, did you get my text?
Did you get her text, Sandra?
No, hold on. My phone's out there. Give me one
Is it
second.
Sandra or Sandra? What
Sandra.
Sandra. So Todd is saying you feel like a coward because I guess it's right before us and we don't see it. But a lot of things we won't see unless you bring it up, right? So good thing something told me last night to call mute your phone, Todd. Call Elliot because I know Elliot got students and I was like, I want to hear from a student. And so if we could share, and next time it's usually the second and fourth Sunday of the month. Sandra, we're gonna be reaching out to you. You're gonna be overwhelmed with us reaching out to you, but you are our little sister, right? And
we calling her before your next one. That's
I know. I'm saying that, but I just said that we're going to overwhelm her. We're going to be there for her because she is our little sister, right?
Yeah.
But remember that you got to buy into it. You gotta do your part. Like even this Zoom. So the last one we did was in November. I'm gonna get to you 1 minute, Mar. It's a MARR. The last one was in November, and now it's now.
You good?
I pushed it off because sometimes even me, I'm like, I don't want to, or I don't want to. There's a lot of stuff going on about my job, and I get what you're saying. You could put off, and I used to say to people, I used to call my sister-in-law and Hanifa, and I used to say, I need you to be there. I need you to make me accountable. I need you to push me. I need you to push me. And no matter how much I said it, I didn't get that phone call like I needed. So one day I woke up like, what? I got to push myself. I got to say, okay, I'm setting up this Zoom because I felt like it was time. A lot of time, even though I didn't do this Zoom, I know a lot of people needed it. And I put that in my mind like, it's time. And so I need you when we reaching out to you. I need you to do your part. I need you. We not trying to come in between you and your mom, but you should be seen and living with anybody. So we're gonna do your part to get you what you need. Like, because Elliot did used to say that some of the parents won't sign certain things. So we're gonna do our part. But I'm just asking that you do your part with us. We're gonna love on you. And we're gonna even love on your boyfriend if he need help, and if it's some guy.
Yeah,
like
he
Ryan
just
or Brad.
signed up for IYO and everything. Because he goes through his own things.
Okay, and we're gonna be there to help each other go through it. We can all go through this together.
Yeah.
Mar, could you say, because I see you had your hand. I usually go to 7, it's like 7:30. Go ahead, Mar, say something.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Introduce
what's
yourself.
good, Mom? It's Marshall.
Oh, hey, Marshall, go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, I was feeling a little out of it, a little anxious. So I wasn't really going to speak. That's why I just
Okay.
put like Mar up there. But
Okay.
it's really Naya. I really came on for Naya because, like, you know, I can relate to like just the pain, like is real. You feel me? Like the grieving. So, and
said that because his
and
brother
Naya, I
just
want
was
to tell you,
murdered.
like, when you said the whole depression thing, that shit real. You feel me? Like, so even you, like, it's times Naya post something, or I like it, I want to hit her, but it's like it's a struggle, like for me to like stay in contact with people, because when I'm like depressed, I like isolate and just, you know, be going through my own shit. But Naya, I just want to tell you, you could call me anytime. Like, yo, it's never a time I don't think about like where I ain't had nobody to call when I was locked up but you, and it was you who, you know, like really helped me through that process tremendously. So, and just, you know, just the reality, like it is a struggle, but like you said too, my like pray. That's all I really do, like, cause shit real. Like it's only God while I'm still out
Cursing a
here. Like
lot,
I know I'm
Marshall. You
almost
cursing a
violated.
lot. Stop cursing.
Huh?
Go ahead. Stop
Oh,
his
my
girl.
bad,
You
my
doing a lot
bad.
of cursing. Go ahead.
But
Respect the mic. Go ahead.
yeah, but nah, I just know the whole grieving process, everything is really a struggle. The whole trauma. I've been trying to learn more about it. Like I be wanting to like even, you know, in any way like heal so I could, you know, even be better for my family. But I realize it's a real tough process. Like I've been dealing with a drinking problem, I almost violated like a few times, but it's the grace of God that they've been working with me. So like I'm even like, you know, when I think of you doing this group and everything, like it's real to just be able to get up here and be authentic and let it out. Cause I go through, sometimes it's hard to really even just let it out. Like
Now, so
sometimes I feel like the pain can
Marshall,
have you numb.
so
Like you
Marshall
be
is,
numb.
we met Marshall through Greg. He was like Greg's friend. All right. And he used to come over. And
What's
so now
up,
he's
my?
our family
What's up?
member.
Hold on. What's up, my?
You breaking up, Greg.
My
You
boy.
breaking up.
Too, but I need to ask you, what you doing, Carl?
You was breaking
You
up,
can hear
Greg.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't have that good.
I said to my friend that you can call me if you need me. You hear me now?
Marshall.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so and
Nah,
this is what we do as a
I said you
family.
could call me if you need me. And I said, what you was doing calling my sister when you was in jail? Sorry, no.
That's you know that's my sister too. We only the family, man. You know we family to death, man.
And I'm his godmother. He adopted me as a godmother.
No, it's the other way around. Cause I knew once Missy Lane reached out to me, and Missy Lane reached out to me at a dark time. I wasn't hearing from my mother. I wasn't really hearing from nobody. And Missy Lane just like came out of nowhere. Like, you feel me? It was always love, cause Greg, like that's my bro, and I met her through him. But that's why I knew that, like, just you coming out of nowhere to me, like I ain't heard from you in years. And then in the beginning of my bed, you just write me, encourage me, send me money. That's how I knew like you was a mother from God. And I know, you know, he blessed me with you. Like, cause you helped me so much. Like when I'm telling you, like I couldn't get money from places, like you'll do it. And it's like, you know, I never forget that. Like I never, you know, I'm grateful for that. So I'm
And I
always here
love
for
you.
you too, even when you ain't here for me.
I know, and I
I'm
love
trying
you.
to get right so I could be right for
Let me
all
say
of
this
us.
too. And the reason that I was able to give you money by the grace of God, and I did that because you was one of Greg's friends that when you got locked up, I was like, what the heck just happened? Like you was just this kid that I just thought like was just like, oh my God, used to come over, used to do the beatbox on the table, and y'all used to rap. And so when I heard whether you got on drugs, and I was like, what? So whenever you hit me, whenever you call me, I love you. And I love you because you was a great person. You got caught up, whatever crime you did, whether it was drug related or not. But I knew the Marshall that's inside of you. And so even now, I know that you lost your brother the day he came home for after doing how long, Marshall? How long you did in jail?
8.5.
He did 8.5, I think the next day or the day he came home, the next day or the whatever.
No, it was the same day. It was
Okay,
later
his
on
brother
that
got
night.
murdered, right? And so I know what it is to lose a son. I know what it is to lose a brother. And so every chance I call, I call Marshall, I text Marshall. We talk, I got to get him through this. He always had a strong faith in God. He go to church. He always had that. And again, the village is, I can't let him slip. That's what we here for, right? I'm never trying to take a place of nobody's mother, but I'm just going to love them like my son, love them like my daughter. Karima, your hand went back up again, or that was a mistake?
Yes, I wanted to
I
thank
appreciate
Kamora
that.
for being on this long. She's in Delaware University getting her learn on, but I
Hey,
sent her the link.
Kamora. No. Kamora, do you want to say something? Kamora is Karima's
Now you
daughter.
probably got Kamora crying.
Yeah. Kamora, unmute and just say something. Say hello. Say, did you get
I'm
anything?
so sorry. Hi.
Hi, Kamora. How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? I'm feeling good.
Okay, so what do you feel about this Zoom?
I feel like it was very motivating and inspiring. I like to hear how people heal in different type of ways, even if it takes long.
Yes.
Kamora is a sociology major. She needs to hear this.
Yes, and if you have other friends, Kamora, that maybe is going through that that may benefit from just coming up here sharing. Again, we on Zoom, we on Facebook Live, we on YouTube, and it's not about, we don't care. Like, even you see how me and my children get up here and we sharing our pain. We want somebody to learn or heal from our pain, right? It's nothing to be embarrassed about. This is really life, and we all gonna experience life, and we all come to go. And so if we can save a couple of people or a lot of people, that's what we want to do. And I thank everybody up here that shared. Maestro, and I see you there now, Maestro, because he's been having his hand up a lot of times. Kamora, thank you for sharing. We love you. I'm gonna make sure I send your mother the link for the next time. Todd, so you can get on. Maestro.
Elaine, call me as soon as this is over. It's important, okay?
Okay, absolutely.
Thank
Maestro,
you.
Thank you, Kamora. Love you.
Love you too.
You wanted to share.
I just want to say I appreciate everything everybody said, and I appreciate you having this. I think it's going to help a lot of people. But I just want to let everybody know, like, I lost my father and my mother. I lost my father on my 8th birthday. I lost my mother January 10th of this year. And, when we're traumatized and when we go through these pains and stuff like that, you go through all types of emotions. You get angry, you get sad. It's all types of emotion you go through. But seeking mental health is not a problem. It's just like if you got a headache, you take an aspirin. So some of us have to seek mental health because of the things that we've been through. It's not normal. You understand what I'm saying? I've been on the bad side, I've been on the good side. I did some things that I'm not proud of, but at the end of the day, I was able to make my mom proud because I changed. So I'm saying that to say this. We have to keep doing what we're doing and loving these kids and stuff like that, because that's where it started at.
Yep.
If you don't reach the kids, once they get older, it's so hard to reach them. And it's like changing somebody's religion. If you try to change somebody's religion, just think about how hard is it? Because you believe what you believe. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we got to reach these kids, and I was a parent at 16 years old. So did I love my son? Unconditionally. But I had him on the block with me because I didn't know no better. That's the way I got money, so I had him out there with me. So what did he learn? He learned street stuff. And what you learn is what you manifest. You know what I mean? Do we have an option to say, no, I don't want that life? Yes, we do. But some of us is attracted to it. Some of us, we reject it. So it's about teaching the kids to make good choices. you know, and if we continue to love these kids and tell them you could be anything you want and that, yo, you got to make good choices and stuff like that, then we're moving forward. But right now, it's like we losing. You know, I have a 32-year-old and I have an 11-year-old. I have 5 kids in total. My 32-year-old, he's way different from my 11-year-old. My 11-year-old, he want to go to school on Saturdays. My 32-year-old, he was always a problem in school because of what I was doing. Kids watch things and you never know what they see. They see everything that you do.
So Maestro, did you ever have that talk with your son, the 32-year-old, and apologize to him for letting him be a part of that? Because now, like you said, he's seen it. So that's what, did you ever apologize to him? Or maybe you can apologize now if you didn't. What you think?
No, I did apologize. So I apologized to him. You know, I explained things to him and I told him the way to go. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You only lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it.
Absolutely.
You gotta, he has to make a choice. But what you want to do, you want to be this or you want to be that. But whatever you do, you be the best at it.
Yeah. Ryan, could you let me back in? Thank you for sharing that, Maestro. Maestro.
Oh, one more thing and another thing. At the end of the day, like, you know, I know we love the kids or whatever, but at the same time, when they do something wrong, we have to hold them accountable. Because guess what? When they get in this real world, they are gonna hold them accountable.
They are.
And yeah, they are. So we have to hold them accountable and let them know this is what you don't do. That's it.
Thank you, Maestro, for joining. I appreciate you and I love you.
Elaine.
Yes. Tiana
Okay.
too. Go ahead. Did Tiana leave? Go ahead, Tiffany. Oh, I see Tiana. Go ahead.
All right. So I was just listening to, I think his name is Craig, right?
No.
And how he would, that's what it say on my thing.
Oh, he under my, oh, yeah. So that's
Maestro.
Maestro. That's Maestro, but he's under Wadu thing. Go ahead. His name Maestro.
Okay. Okay. How you doing? Okay. So what he was just saying about when your kids see things that you do, that's what happened with me and my oldest daughter. Tiana, she's on here too.
Yeah, I'm gonna let her talk next. Go ahead.
I was in a relationship. It was abusive. And for some time, I always thought that she didn't know or see the things that I went through because she was young. And a lot of times she would tell me that she didn't see this and she didn't see that. But for the most part, like, she had an attitude with me for a long time. And as she got older, I learned that her attitude was because I allowed a man to do everything to me and I didn't protect myself. And she couldn't understand how could I allow someone to do that to me. And I had to apologize to her once I realized that she knew everything when I thought that it was being hidden. So I had to apologize to her, and I still apologize to her right now because our relationship went somewhere else because I didn't think about my daughter at the time. When that was happening to me, I was thinking about myself, and I thought that I was hiding and protecting her when it only put a damper on me and her relationship. So I feel like I owe her apology. I apologize to her all the time in regards to it. But now she has a daughter, which is my granddaughter. And I try to, have a relationship with her because anything that I messed up with my daughter, I want to get that relationship with my grandbaby. So I feel like I messed up in that point. I was 16, 17 when I had her. I didn't know everything. Right now, and I have an 11-year-old right now that I wouldn't allow her to see nobody put their hands on me ever. So I had to learn from that. But it wasn't my oldest daughter. It was wrong for me to.
You went out, Tiff. Tiffany, you muted.
I said that it was unfair to Tiana to see me go through that. And I realized that now, since I'm an adult and I'm grown. When I was 16 and 17 years old, I didn't think about that. So I sit here a lot of times and, you know, I get upset with myself that I even allow her to see me go through those things. But she knows that I love her. I tell her I love her. I tell her I apologize for her even seeing me go through something like that, because I know that had to be detrimental to her to let a man do something to me and she couldn't protect me and I didn't protect myself as well. So Tiana, I love you. I will always love you. And I do apologize that you had to see me go through that.
Very good, Tiffany. And again, parenting is not something that comes in the book.
Right.
Tiana.
Yes.
Hello, Tiana, my sweet goddaughter, you.
So y'all know I really don't like talking.
Want me to coach you? You said I could coach you.
Nah, I think I got it. If I start,
you got it, baby.
So for years, you know, I did hold a grudge against my mother, for just what she said. And I carried into my day-to-day life, not just her, just with everybody. I felt like I didn't want to be bothered. I had this resting beef face that I don't want to be talked to. I'm angry. And that carried into a lot of different situations. Like, I don't have friends. I stay to myself because I feel like I'm safe by myself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's my safe place for me to be by myself. So a lot of times if I'm not going somewhere, I'm not showing up to places or things like that, it's because I feel safe by myself. And I don't want, you know, certain energies. It took me to the pandemic happened, honestly, when COVID hit and we had to shut down and we really had to stay in the house for me to understand that I don't want my daughter to bear the weight of the emotional trauma and things that I'm going through. That's not fair to her because she didn't ask to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to understand that my mother had me at 17. Like you just said, there's no book to parenting.
Mm-hmm.
So she did what she could with what she had. And I had to understand that. Both of my parents were young when they had me. So I can't fault them for only doing what they knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to understand that. I had to learn that is not their fault. And I can't fault her for not knowing how I felt like I should have been protected or I should have been loved or she should have validated, you know, how I was feeling in these moments. Because she didn't know no better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't make decisions on things that you don't know. And, you know, right now, me and Elaine had a conversation last week. And I let her know, like, I'm at a place where I'm finally feeling like I'm healing through the trauma that I had when I was young. Because there was a point in time where I was making bad decisions with friendships, hanging around people that they ain't mean me no good. And it took me to go through certain situations. And Greg know about this, and I know about this. Elaine, you know about this. The car chase. I could have put a lot of people's lives in.
Eric knew too.
He did.
Yeah.
And I could have put a lot of people in jeopardy that night. And that showed me that this ain't right. Because this is stupid stuff that I'm going through, and I'm putting people in harm's way for what? After Greg just got shot, and that really bothered me. So I said, you know what? Nope, I'm done with the friend thing. I don't need nobody. So I started being by myself. And then I met my boyfriend, and he kind of, you know, mellowed me out a little bit where I felt like, all right, maybe I can trust you. But it took me a long time to even be able to open up to him because of things that I experienced with my mother in her relationship that I didn't even know I was still holding on to. But it came out in my relationship with him, and he did nothing to me. He didn't deserve that. Mm-hmm. He didn't deserve me, you know, trying to bear the weight of the trauma that I'm carrying into situations. Mm. So when I had my daughter, I knew that I had to change for myself. No matter what I went through, nobody around me deserved to feel the wrath of all of that. So I had to decide to put this down and stop really focusing on giving so much energy to stuff that really ain't mattering. It don't matter no more. why am I letting people still have power over my emotions?
Yep.
It's the lack of emotional intelligence that I had to figure out. Every action does not deserve a reaction, because is it going to upset my peace? Is it going to upset how I'm feeling right now? Is it going to take me back to a state that I've already grown from?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to question a lot of things. Me and my mother, we working on our relationship. Is it the best? Of course not. No situation is going to be the best. And I feel like if you don't have arguments and disagreements with people, are they really your people?
Mm.
Are they really your people if you never have a disagreement or falling out with people that you care about? And Naya, I'm going to put you on the spot too. Because at the end of the day, I feel like you are my sister. And to get on here today and hear you say the things that you said, I remember coming home from work one day and I thought about you, because it's not the first time I heard this story. And I said, I'm going to text her so bad and just let her know that I love her. That no matter what we go through, no matter how mad she get at me, no matter how she feel about me, I have to put myself in situations to where I'm not going to be triggered to go back to this angry place. I don't want to be there. I don't want to live there no more. So I have to make decisions for myself, because I have a child that is looking up to me to be this person, and she cannot see me hurt. I don't want her to see that. I don't like coming to North because it brings me back to so many things that I have moved on from. Mm-hmm. It puts me around people that I have, like, I don't want to see these people. Imagine me coming to North and I ride through Hawthorne and Clint Blaze and I get to see Ernest. And as bad as he looked, and as much as I want to hate him, I can't. My body, this person that I am becoming, because we all are human beings, human becomings, having a worldly experience. I don't want to have this on. Hey, excuse me. I don't. Go FaceTime. I don't want to have this.
She want to get on, TT.
Who's that?
Okay.
That's Naya.
With Uncle Greg. Show Uncle Greg.
Hey, Kayor.
Hey, Naya, you better make up with Tiana right now. I'm beating fool up tomorrow.
What the fool got to do with this?
Okay. We on the Zoom. Could Tiana close out with finish what you were saying?
We'll talk about this on another call.
Yo, that's bro. I got you, fool. That's bro, Carter. Chill, bro.
Let her finish closing out. Be quiet, y'all. Naya, go Tiana. Close out what you were saying.
Hold on, y'all ain't gonna come for my brother Carter though.
Go ahead, Tiana.
So, but even like for the be quiet. 1 second. Okay.
Trying to whip it up.
Wait for it. Okay, I'm gonna
Tiana go in the bathroom.
So, even the young girl that's on here, your today is not going to be 10 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
The choices, and this is why you gotta force yourself to get up in the morning, because you don't want to follow the same patterns that your family is following. You know that they are showing you right now. So in order for you to be better than them and to have a better quality of life, you gotta push yourself. I know the weather, Kayor. I know the weather, that seasonal depression is real. It is. But you gotta
take care of you to stop, Greg.
Mommy has school. But yeah, to all y'all know I love y'all.
We love you too, TT.
We love you too.
Thank you for sharing.
All right, bye.
Is it someone else there? Because we going at 8 o'clock. We definitely got to get off. We was on here for 3 hours. I see, if anybody know me, they know I call people out. I see it's some lady or someone up here named Sarah. Sarah, would you like to say hello? Or is there something that you would like to share, or just greetings, Sarah McLeod?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I just thank you for having this trauma meeting, and I would just like to be invited to the next one. I'm going through my own trauma. My young son was murdered I don't say he died. He was murdered in cold blood in Brooklyn. It was horrible, and it's hard for me to deal with it. So I stay away from people, and I go to
Sorry for your
therapy.
loss. Sorry for your loss.
And I go to therapy, and I have a lot of trauma in my life. So this session is really therapeutic for me. The one thing I do, I go to therapy. I always say I'm going to exercise. I got a gym membership that I don't go to. I live out in the country, and I love animals. They help. And I have a little grandson that I have to raise who's very angry. He's 9 years old now, and trying to be a grandma to him, and dealing with my trauma and trying to help him with his trauma. I just think this session was really good, and I would like to be invited to your next one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now, Sandra, let me ask you, because I don't know you personally. So how did you get the invite?
Sarah.
From Jackie Bundy.
Okay, Jackie.
I was a president of a nonprofit, and so one of the employees got me in touch with Jackie when my son was murdered. And she came from nowhere. I think she's 2 hours away from me, and she was right there. I don't have a lot of support here, but she came from Newark and all the way down to where I am to stand with me at my son's memorial, in the middle of this stupid pandemic. And, I don't even know where I would be if it wasn't for Jackie. She stood there. She just stood there with me, and she invites me to, different things. And, I just come, because, I just, I don't know what else to do.
And I met Jackie through Emily, who works with me. When I started speaking, Emily was like, I have a friend named Jackie that her son was murdered years ago. And, so she was on, she just said, thanks, Elaine, that was powerful Zoom. I had to leave due to another Zoom. Thanks again. She's very wonderful, right? One day she called me, she asked me to send her a picture of my son. And I sent her a picture, and she made me the little ornament for the tree.
She made me,
that was like so beautiful. Yeah.
She made me an ornament, and she also did a say. She never met my son. Yeah. And like all the attributes that my son Robert had, she just wrote them. And
so let me tell you what I do too. So, and this is for everybody up here, because we got trauma, then we got trauma with moms whose sons or daughters was murdered. I believe in, and this is what I do. I post about Eric all the time. So even before Eric, my brother got killed. That was my best friend. I go to his grave on his birthdays, birthday, Father's Day, and the day he died. Right? My mother, I do the same. His friends have inboxed me like, God, I only wish that my sister be like you. You never gonna let his memory go. I'm not. Because we all have memories, right? We come to go, but we have memories. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to celebrate their life, right? I don't want them to ever, and I'm saying about your son too, that they're not going to die in vain. They're going to know that he was there. And so that's the goal. And that's what I try to tell moms, that we celebrate your son. Put up if you on Facebook, put up his picture, right? On Eric got a page. I go up there, hey, Eric, mommy miss you. Hey, Eric, I love you. I post his picture, because they will not get that. They not taking my son and think that he's just going to be somebody that was never here. They're going to know that Eric LaShore, better known as Adonis North, is going to live forever. And so I'm saying that to you, that we got a lot of memories as a mom. Celebrate them. Celebrate his memories. He was taken away from you. We can't fight that, but don't let them think that they won. Celebrate your baby. All right?
Amen, Ma. Amen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we usually do this the second Sunday and second and fourth Sunday of the month. I have 3 minutes and 52 seconds. My mentee, who I adopted over here, Naeem, put the time up. So if it's anybody want to say something else before we close out.
I would just like to say, this is Jamila. Hello,
Hi,
Elaine.
Jamila.
Hi. I'm so happy you did this today. I'm just happy you did it. This is what you need to do. I always get on you to do your thing. And so I'm asking everybody, if she don't show up for next month or next 2 weeks, y'all need to call her. Y'all need to text her. Y'all need to get on her nerves, how she gets on y'all nerves, so that she can do this again.
February the 13th will be the next one. And it's always going to be on a Sunday, and it's going to be at 5 o'clock.
Okay,
I just
bye.
want to thank Jamila. Is you finished speaking, Jamila? Are you?
Oh yeah, you know I'm finished.
Okay, so I just want to thank Jamila. Jamila is one of my coworkers. She's one of the aides to the councilman. And I originally met Jamila working at Chancellor Avenue School. I was a aide, and her daughters was in my drama club. And I just want to thank you publicly, right? Through the 8 years that I was at for the councilman, and he's not running next year, so he's going to be leaving. I want to say like 25 other coworkers, or maybe 29 that came and went. And I'm gonna get a little emotional, but I just really want to thank Jamila, because you brought me so much peace. You really like my right hand. Right, it's been days that I would like just kind of let somebody get to me in the office, and she'll put me in the office and stop, sit down, think. We are not going to do this. And one day she came to me, and I'm gonna put you out there, Jamila. And I was saying, I'm gonna do this different. I'm gonna do this, and she cried. And she said, you know, God answered my prayers. And I said, what you mean? She said, I'm worried about you. And she said, you letting them get to you, and you can't let them get to you. And she said, and if something happened to you and you die, your daughter Anaya is going to be mad at me because I'm not going to come to the funeral. And I said, Jamila, you're not going to come to the funeral? How could you tell me you won't come to my funeral? And she said, because I ain't going to be able to get up. I'm going to be so broken. And I love you, Jamila. I love you for being my peace, for being my right hand, for being my friend.
I love you too. And Anaya, we got to finish our twerking classes that used to teach us in the office. Love you.
Love you
know,
too. Hey, Mom.
I can't do all that crying right
Hey,
now.
Mom. Hey, Mom.
Yes.
At least when everybody cried, they had their camera off. You
I
mad
love
ugly.
No, because some things, I mean, y'all can say I'm ugly or not, but Jamila is the person
I
that
love you, Z.
Jamila
Chill,
don't show
sis.
no
Stop coming for my
emotion.
godmother.
And when
sis.
Jamila cried,
You beautiful.
Jamila shows no emotion. And when
But you
she
could have turned the
cried,
camera
right,
off.
Marshall, when Jamila
Yeah.
cried to me that day, I knew like, wow, it was like really serious. And all she wanted me to do is to slow down so I wouldn't have a heart attack. And I publicly want to thank you for that, because we don't have people like that. This is what I'm talking about as far as the village. I want to publicly thank everyone for coming out. If it's anybody, we got 50 seconds. We could really go over, because I pay for Zoom, y'all. I pay like $79, and I've been paying it for the longest. And we wasn't getting our Zoom worth. So we need to get our Zoom worth and use the Zoom up. So if it's anybody that want to say anything in closing, I mean, I did call off. I think I said everybody that's up here. I just want to thank you for coming out, sharing. Even if you just came up here to listen, hopefully next time you could come on, and if it's something that maybe you think somebody could heal with. Sheila Mungeon, would you like to say something? Rashida? I see Dorcas is up here.
I love you, Mom.
Who is that?
Well,
Hey, Roland, I love you, babe. I love you.
Hey.
Okay,
Kia
so-
up here. Kia want to say something?
Kia, would you like to say something? Mungeon was a parent liaison at Maple Avenue School. I think she's at Tiffany's daughter's school now. Would you like to say something in closing, Mungeon?
Myself. Okay, I just want to say, it was very interesting to listen to. And I mean, we all grew up around each other. We already is a village already. We're family. Because when we see one person going through something, we feel what that person goes through. But the most important as I listen to everyone speak, we have a lot of youth here. A lot of youth that we have to protect. And first of all, we must also know we must put God first in everything. And everything that we do,
Amen.
God is in control. Don't think that he's not watching, he's not seeing, and he's not looking. When your children are out there, let's pray over them. Pray that 91st Psalm, that 23rd Psalm. Keep praying. Just like Elaine said, we do not have any control. God is in control. And I know our knees are rusty and dusty from kneeling down on our knees, praying for our children. Praying for children that's not even ours. All the children in the world, all the children that's out there. And every time when I see Anaya and I see Greg and I see everyone out there, I say, you know what? They're my children. They're not only Elaine's children, they're my children. So when they hurt, I hurt. When they go through something, I go through it. When Najee and them come back and tell me something, I hurt. I feel that pain. And that's the kind of pain that we have to all feel as a community.
But we need to teach our children that God is in control. He's in control. And I thank you and I love you all. And I want to be on the next session because I love it. Because let me tell you, not only you young people have going through something, we all are going through something. We all in this pandemic together. And every time you walk out the door, we go through something. We go through something because we know it's not easy out here. It's not like when we was coming up, the person next door looked out for us next door. My mother went to work. Everybody on the block knew what was going on. It's not like that no more.
Yeah.
So now that's why we got to build this village and raise and look out for everyone. Everyone's child is our children. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I love you all.
Love you too.
Thank you, Manja. Thank you, Manja. We love you. We
Thank you,
definitely
bye.
are a village.
Yes.
Miss Wallace, is this Carolyn? Is that Miss Wallace?
You was muted, Ma.
I was asking, was that Miss Wallace? I see Carolyn up here. Is that Miss Wallace? Rashida, would you like to say something in closing, Rashida?
Her mic not working, but she said
She
it's
said her
popping.
mic not working.
Okay.
Can I
Thank you,
end
Miss
the
Wallace. I
poem?
love you. She's over RYL. Rashida.
I'm about to do a poem before we close out.
She said her mic not working. Can I end with the poem, Ma?
Go
Or
ahead.
you want
No, go ahead.
one?
I just before he
If
do
I
his
memorize, if I mess up, y'all, I ain't
off.
said it in a long time.
Just let it out, my boy.
Greg, you want me to send this to you because you giving me bad vibes.
I went from lonely tears on the top tier of the county pod to angry tears in the house in the bathroom contemplating suicide or homicide or genocide or any act of violence that I thought would ease the pain I feel inside. But it's like if you're walking through a rainstorm, no matter how big your umbrella is, some part of you still seems to get wet. And no matter how many acts of vengeance I think of in my head, I still can't escape the guilt or regret. It's like the pain becomes a burden and the burden gets too heavy to bear. I lost two great people I love to death in 2 months, but they say I should be thankful that I'm still here. That's really ironic looking at life from my perspective. But I mean, God, if you wanted to teach me a lesson, believe me, I got the message. It's almost impossible for me to rejoice and be thankful for life when two key factors of my life have been snatched away. And the hurt, anger, and malice that have filled my heart makes it difficult for me to pray. But I haven't lost faith and I won't question God, and no, I don't blame him. Oh, but how I wish he could have spared Eric and Kelly and let me be their guardian angel. Eric and Kelly, I'm so sorry for the misery I brought upon your daughters. Life without y'all is going to be so hard for them, even with the help of supporters. I promise I would give them my last as if they were my own kids, and that's from the bottom of my heart. I would do whatever I can to bring light upon their lives, even if it means I would have to live in the dark. I'm not perfect at all, and I have my share of sins, but I never felt pain like this before. And to watch my mother bury her oldest son is something she shouldn't have had to endure. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But I lost substance and hope. So for me to talk to a hug, Eric and Kelly, I'm forced to rely on my dreams. I can still hear Kelly's last scream so vividly in my head, and every other day it forces me to break down. I can still see Eric's last moments on the stretcher and me and my mother and sister standing around. They say time heals all pain. That must be a quote that just sounds good, because every day my pain seems to hurt me deeper. I couldn't protect my brother when he needed me most in his life, and I'm supposed to be my brother's keeper. I just want to cut the CMB off my chest and bury it with my brother. I know she would never admit it in a million years, but I know this is the worst pain I caused my mother. Kelly, you always said I was your protector and your Superman, and I never told you, but that made me proud. I'm so sorry I couldn't save you, and you know how much I value that friendship, and I don't know how I'm going to survive without you around. And now I don't need pity, because I'm never let the devil break me. I'm too strong, I'm not weak. I just refuse to talk to a therapist.
You breaking up.
Hey, Greg, you muted. Greg, you went out.
Greg, fix your Wi-Fi. Damn.
So you ended up, I'm not too strong. I'm not. Oh no, get off.
What y'all heard?
I'm not.
Word cuss sound like a
I'm too
robot.
strong, I'm not weak. can't
to
see.
talk to a therapist who's a stranger. So I spilled my bitter and angry thoughts on the sheet. You hear me, too?
That's tough.
Next time you're gonna have to do it on the porch so you don't break up and they can get the full thing because your Wi-Fi ain't working for you, babe.
I think it's the ankle bracelet interfering with it.
The ankle bracelet ain't working. Move the ankle bracelet
Yeah, I'm on
away
ankle
from that
bracelet,
box.
y'all.
It ain't connected.
Why,
Thank you to
free my
everyone.
guy.
Could we go out in a prayer? I know we got different religions, but I mean, Basima, Crystal, Basima, prayers out.
Okay. My God, my God, my God, he definitely showed up and showed out. I just want to, Lord God, I just want to thank you. Thank you, oh God. Thank you, oh God, for being in the midst of this Zoom call, oh God. You knew exactly what everybody needed, oh God. You do all things well. I just want to take this opportunity just to thank you, oh God. I don't want to ask for anything because you already know what each and every person on this call needs, oh God. They put it out there. They put it out there for you, oh God. We all got to hear what everybody was going through, but it was for you, oh God. So you will handle all things, oh God. Each and every person, oh God, poured their heart out, oh God. The tears, the laughter, everything, oh God, was all for you, oh God. You will handle it, oh God. I just want to thank you, oh God. I just want to thank you, oh God. I just want to thank you, oh God, because I know that each person that poured out their heart to you, oh God. Oh my God. My earbud died. Sorry. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. So God, again, I just want to take this opportunity, like I said, just to thank you, oh God. Just to thank you for covering Elaine, oh God, giving her the courage, oh God, giving her the drive, giving her the push, oh God, to put this platform out here, oh God. There's people on here that she don't even know, oh God, that's asking, oh God, for her to continue to do this, oh God, that so that they can come on here and just heal, oh God. She said, she calls it healing through trauma, oh God. Lord God, I just thank you. All I just want to say is thank you. I just want to continue to just say thank you. I just don't want to get all deep into all that. Just thank you, oh God. Just thank you, oh God. Just thank you, oh God. Just thank you, oh God, for covering. Just for covering, oh God, because you protected each and every person that was on this call. You protected them. You protected them, oh God. I just thank you, oh God. I just thank you, oh God. And I can't wait to see what you do next, oh God. And the next Zoom call, oh God, there's going to be more people on here, oh God. This Zoom call is opening the door for more people to come, oh God, because this is a village. This is a village. People are going to be talking about this so that other people can come, oh God, so that they can heal, so that they can get help, oh God. Oh God, I just thank you. I just thank you. I can't wait to see what you're going to do through this, oh God. I know that she said it ain't about religions, but it's about God. It's about you.
Amen.
It's about you, oh God, and what you're going to do, oh God. We talk about Newark not being a good place, but you're in the midst of it. It ain't about Newark. It's about the children. It's about the young adults. It's about the old adults, oh God. For you to just come in and just show somebody what you're capable of doing, oh God. Oh, in the name of Jesus, I just thank you, oh God. I just thank you, oh God. I just thank you, oh God. I'm gonna go ahead and end it because I've been to start shouting up in here and I ain't trying to, but Lord God, I just thank you because he gonna do some things, Elaine. Listen, I know you said about the accountability. We gonna hold you accountable for this. This
So now you want to hold me accountable.
This needs to be done. This needs to be done. Jesus.
Okay, and for the ones that, thank you,
Jesus,
Boz,
definitely Lord, though.
that next time that if you feel that if it's something, a topic that you want to share or something that you want to talk about, you can give me a call. I'm gonna give out my phone number. My phone number for the ones that's new is 862-367-2888. 2371. Again, it's 862-367-2371. Hunt, I see you up here. You know, you usually share. Kia, I mean, so if y'all didn't speak today, if y'all want to speak, the next one is February the 13th. He said, which is actually the day before Greg's birthday. So hopefully Greg will jump on because he's a Valentine baby. So he's definitely a love child. Todd, I just want to personally thank you because I know that you out and about, for you to even stay on the Zoom all the way to the end, and any other man that stayed on there.
You're welcome. Welcome. Anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing your part. So we will reach out to Sandra. I don't know if she got off. And if it's anybody else, y'all got my number. If it's something y'all want to text me, if it was somebody on here that touched y'all that y'all want their number, y'all can inbox me and I will speak to them. And that is that. We're gonna go out with this song that I feel like I guess we need. Everyone, I love you. I love you.
Love you too, Ma. Full Carter. Love y'all. Naya. Love you, Naya. Chest up here high. You know the vibe.
Love you, Miss Lee, always.
Always love you.
Love you.
Love
you. Love you too.
Y'all hear the music?
Yes.
Okay.
I say a prayer every night. Whatever I do, I'll get it right.
See the pictures?
With no
love y'all.
Naya.
No guilt or shame.
Hey, love y'all.
This time.
Love you more, Nana.
No, not this
Hey,
time.
Devon, my nephew.
Rashida, love you, girl.
Never down this north forever.
Yes. And Kelly, yes. And come on, yes.
Love you, Miss Sarah. Miss Mungie. Bye. Shaquila. Miss Hunt. Jamila.
I thank you for sharing today, Naya.
Mama, love you, Naya. Love y'all.
Elaine, I will definitely be in touch with you. I'm gonna get your information from Tiffany. Hey, Krista.
I love you. Absolutely. I gave my cell phone number, but Tiffany texted to her. And then you text me, and I'm gonna text you Greg.
It's in the chat, Elaine.
Yeah, but I ain't going to the chat. But I mean, I just gave my number out.
Oh, yeah, I just did it.
For the other one.
Okay, I just did it from Tiffany, and I'll be in touch. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Love you.
Love you, babe.
Love you.
Rashida, I love you. Joy, I love y'all. See y'all February the 13th. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Love you, Munjin, always and forever. Tell a friend.
I was free to do what I wanted to. Lost everything, but I still had you. You showed me your grace. Now my life's renewed and I thank you. Yes, I thank you.
Thank you for the prayer, Rashida.
So I'm telling everyone who will listen, I'll testify about how good you were to me when so-called friends passed me by. The fact that you would show somebody so broke down, so much mercy beyond what I see. You know what's best. I know you know what's best for me. Prepare my mind, and prepare my heart for whatever comes. I wanna be ready. Give me the strength to pass any test. I feel like I know that I'm so blessed. You're in control. I can't go wrong. I know that I'm gonna be ready. I'll be ready. So use me as you will. I'll pay.
Good night, everyone.